Hello, everyone, and welcome to Random Number Generation here on GDQ Hotfix, the show about the runners, the randomizers, and the communities behind them. I'm Skybills, your host, and this is episode 109, Ori and the Blind Forest Randomizer, with Covert Muffin and Aiko here. And this is going to be a preview for our upcoming AGDQ 2025. Very excited to have y'all here. Real quick here, a few housekeeping things on behalf of Games Done Quick. AGDQ 2025 will be live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania from January 5th through the 12th. Visit GamesDoneQuick.com and check the AGDQ 2025 important dates section to learn more. If you'd like to support GDQ Hotfix, check out the 2024 Season 4 shirt at theyeti.com/AGDQ. Also, join us in celebrating Black Joy with Back to Black from February 6th through the 9th, 2025. Find out more at GamesDoneQuick.com/blackinaflash. GDQ's next all-women and femme speedrunning event, Frost Fatale 2025, will be live from March 9th through the 16th. Visit GamesDoneQuick.com/FrameFatale for more information on the event. And with that being said, Aiko, Covert, it's so wonderful to have y'all here. How are y'all doing today?
Hi, Sky. I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be showcasing off this run today. I cannot stress enough that this is literally my most run speed game of all time. I've probably over 6,000 hours in this game at this point, and I've been playing it since day -100 when it was in the pre-alpha stages of the randomizer development. And joined here today, I actually have the current lead developer herself, Aiko. How are you doing, Aiko?
I'm also doing so great. It is so awesome to be showcasing this game, especially with you, easily our #1 randomizer player, just in terms of absolutely absurd number of hours played, and also incredible opinions and beams and laughs. #1 rando laugher right here. And yeah, as Muffin said, it is just so awesome to be showcasing this game. It's a wonderful randomizer, has a wonderful community. I've loved all the time I've spent here. I've been really happy to help contribute and eventually take over the development of the Ori 1 randomizer. And I'm so excited to show off what we have for you today. Muffin, do you want to talk a little bit about the category?
Yeah, let's do that. So if you're unfamiliar with the randomizer, pretty much all of the pickup locations are going to be the same as with the base game itself. Except there's going to be two things. One is that the things that I find at said pickup locations are randomized. So they're not going to be what they normally are the grand majority of the time. The other thing is that there are some additional pickup locations that were added in, as well as some other modifications to the game to increase replayability and versatility when you're working through specific sections. Especially with Mount Horu as a dungeon itself, there's going to be no lava in the main room so that you can do the rooms out of order. And there's a million different things, but as this game is incredibly complex, this is a 2D Metroidvania platformer with a set of skills. So right above my webcam, in the top left corner of your screen is going to be a skill tracker. So that circle there is going to show the skills as I'm going to be collecting them. The stuff in the middle are going to be important world events as well as dungeon keys, which I'm going to have to collect in order to finish the siege. And then the stuff that's going to appear outside of the circle are sort of the end constraint, which are known as relics. So what I'm running today is something known as World Tour 11, which on the map there are 11 primary biomes, 3 dungeons, and 8 outside areas. In each of those biomes, one pickup randomly selected in each of those biomes is set to be a key item that I must collect before I'm allowed to start the final escape. So once again, 11 biomes, 1 relic per biome, just a randomly selected pickup, and I must collect all those before I can finish the final escape. So we're going to see all the dungeons. And because in the upcoming AGDQ, there's going to be a donation incentive to showcase off all the escape sequences, I am also going to be showcasing that off today as a little bit of extra flavor. With that being said, Sky and Richard, I am good to go.
All right.
So we are going to get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, cool. This is most important trick Muffin just did right there. It's called prologue skip. It saves 10 minutes and it also stops everyone from watching it having to cry horribly. The prologue is so sad.
It is. It is so sad. So upcoming here, we have 4 pickups that we can currently collect that are randomized and 2 that are not going to be randomized for various reasons. So here's the first one. Normally it's experience, but it ends up being an ability cell. probably the most powerful resource in the entire speedrun of the randomizer itself, because there's going to be a number of glitches as well as utility things that I'm going to be able to utilize with those ability cells as I progress through. But there, that energy cell is going to allow me to basically place down saves, as well as use specific abilities that cost energy to great effect. And so we'll be talking about those as we collect them. But there we go. It's going to be a keystone on the next one, which there's a keystone door right at the start that's going to require 2 keystones to open up. And there's going to be multiple keystone doors all around the map that require specific amounts of keystones to open up. And so those keystones are sort of a universal resource that allows me to pick it up, but they're a sign allowing me to attack things. And now I'm going to teleport back to the start. Do you want to talk about sort of Alt-R as a mechanic, Eiko?
Sure. So the Ori and the Blind Forest randomizer was based off of the, in a lot of ways, just sort of stylistically, the Link to the Past randomizer, which has just sort of built in the ability to return to the spawn area. And so the original versions of the randomizer just had a hotkey bind that let you warp back to that spawn area we saw over to the right. That isn't what you saw Muffin doing, because in our latest major patch of the randomizer, we saw that in Ori 2, they added the ability to use these spirit well teleporters from the map, like the Valley teleporter Muffin just picked up. And we could talk about what that's going to mean for this run in a bit. And we actually backported that into Ori 1 to replace the just sort of warp back to spawn. And so over the course of the run, you're going to see Muffin just open up the ability menu, teleport menu like that, and he can teleport anywhere. And oh wow, climb and double jump, and the double jump was underwater. Muffin, you want to talk a little bit about what we can learn from that?
Yep. Yeah, so first I'm going to be showing off the first glitch of the run, which is known as a save anywhere. Here I'm moving around with the ability menu, which you're not normally able to do. Then leveling up an ability after I cross a cutscene trigger, saving the game and quitting out the menu allows me to skip and or enter pretty much the grand majority of cutscenes that are in this game itself. And it's going to be a massive mechanic.
Yeah.
So basically, once again, the important thing is saving the game, all right? And we have multiple ways of doing this as we progress through the entire game. So if you see me moving around with the ability menu up, it's in order to save the game to some great effect, or for a little bit of safety. But yeah, so we found 2 skills so far. We found Climb, which is going to allow me to basically hold onto walls and be able to move up them. So here, I'm going to do that. So just need a little bit higher. This could be a little tricky. There we go. So now that I'm climbing on this ledge, I can just hold on to it indefinitely. But also, because I have double jump, when I'm in the air, I can actually get 1 additional jump within the air to get a little bit of additional height.
Yep.
And so we're going to do this after teleporting back and returning to Blackroot Burrows, now that we collected the orb. And we are going to skip a platform cycle, just all simply because I have double jump and climb.
Yep. And this is just sort of a neat thing that the randomizer allows that the base game does not. You can, because we can move at any time, we can leave an area, we can teleport out of Blackroot and then just return right away. And once you've touched the orb once, it will always come back to you, which is something they added so that you could like drop it and backtrack. But this does let us skip what is a very scary section casually with a bunch of insta-kill lasers. And also it's faster. So here we have platform cycles. These platforms are on a 8-second global cycle. So if you miss one of these, you were just sitting there counting to 8 in your head, very sadly.
Yeah, so upcoming here is going to be another massive sort of save portion where we're going to use a save anywhere. So there's going to be 3 different cutscenes here, and I'm going to be stacking 3 of them together sequentially, so 2 at a time. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to place down a save, start a save anywhere. And then I'm going to pick up the orb and return it. Then now that I heard the orb touch the ground, I'm going to quit the menu, entering this cutscene. I'm not skipping the cutscene. I'm entering it at a specific portion. Then, while I'm waiting for the darkness to lift, I'm actually going to come through here and sequence break to get this pickup. Because the game only expects me to be possible to get that pickup if I have dash. So not only is getting that pickup a nice little bit of extra resources because it's the health cell and increasing my maximum health by 1 and refilling my health, but also it's actually going to give me information as to potentially where I could find dash on the map. So because we found 2 health cells, that doesn't actually tell me anything where dash could potentially be or not be on the map itself. Yeah, but still it's nice to have.
Yep. Muffin just picked up a Mega Energy on turning in that tree, and got to leave that cutscene much sooner because of that cutscene stack he was talking about. Mega Energy is a randomizer exclusive pickup, and what it does is it gives you restores all your energy and then gives you 5 temporary energy, which does not replenish after you've spent it. And Muffin is going to run over here and immediately use that to open up this 4 energy door, which is a great use of Mega Energy, and is going to be able to run through this section and get access to a teleporter, which will open up a huge portion of the right side of the map a bit earlier than the randomizer logic expects him to.
Yeah, indeed. So I'm literally just doing this because my max energy is still only at 1. If I had like 2 or 3 energy, there are some other sequence breaks to be able to open that door if I manage my experience correctly. However, just because I'm only on a max energy of 1, I'm actually just going to come over here, grab this teleporter, and then do some checks, and then just like get the heck out of Dodge and go back to Glades with these 3 keystones.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we got a question for Aiko.
Yes.
So I need some lore behind this, Aiko. What is it like for Aiko to have escaped Final Fantasy IX? I feel like I'm missing something here.
Aiko is the name of a character in FF9.
Okay. Never played that one. Okay.
It's very fun, IMO. Anyways, so what we're going to see here is Muffin doing some checks. Like he said, in Grotto. And there we actually have our first relic. The relics all have their own unique names and some flavor text. One of the fun things we did was we actually got a bunch of community members to give different submissions for relic names and text. And I got to collect all those and write a few of my own. And so the relics are randomly selected. Every time you play World Tour, you'll see a different set of 11. There's like 5 or 6 for each biome.
Yeah, indeed. And so here, so I'm in Moon Grotto, which is normally the area where you get double jump. So because it's a randomizer, right, I can have double jump even before I go down to the tree over here to like collect the skill as normal, and like if I'm playing the normal game. So with that, I can do cool little sequence breaks like this. And so it's one of the things I love most, and why I kept coming back to the randomizer over the years, is because there's like thousands, if not tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of different little sort of sequences that you just kind of learn and you sculpt and you practice and you get better at the more and more that you actually end up playing the game. So leaderboard settings are really cool, but it's very repetitive with what you'll actually end up doing, and sort of the optimizations that you end up bringing in, unless there's a major discovery, end up only augmenting the game ever so slightly. Whereas every single seed that you actually play in a randomizer ends up being almost its own standalone game that you're learning for the first time, with like similar mechanics to something that you would have played previously. So it's just the versatility and replayability, especially in Ori as a speed game, is just absolutely amazing to experience, and has been for me.
Yeah, and I think Ori, especially Ori 1, just has, for a lot of reasons, has an incredible map and a lot of really cool skill interactions that lend to it randomizing really, really well. We get to skip most of the cutscenes with the save anywhere trick Muff has been doing. We can do more with it than that, as will come up later. The teleporter layout is really great. There are a couple different ways the skills interact and let you do some really cool things that we'll start to see later. But for now, Muffin has in-access climb and some keystones, and so he is finally going to open what we would have done about 3 minutes into a normal run, which is open the first keystone door to Glades. Sorry, more like 1 minute.
Yeah, I just also realized that I might have potentially soft-locked myself, so I really hope this doesn't happen. This seed was vetted, so I hope they accounted for that, but it is never in logic, which basically means the randomizer does not expect me to be capable of opening that 4 energy door by using a Mega Energy itself.
Yeah.
Did you just
however,
logic
there is a
unvetted seed covert?
I mean, so it's
I did.
Well,
yeah,
no, because here's the thing: you have logic. Because you have the teleporter. There is our Glades relic. That's Franki's Bane. This one's just sort of like a little fun thing because it's sort of attempting to lampshade the fact that Frankies and Glades specifically have 8 health, and everywhere else in the game they have a lot more. So there is Franki's Bane here, a flower that they are mildly allergic to.
Yeah.
Anyways, because you have access to the grotto teleporter, you can't be soft locked. You could just be in a situation where you have to go do an annoying key search on the right side of the map.
Yeah, but if keystones aren't there, then that's the soft walk, right? But it's like, it's very improbable that I did soft walk.
Well,
it's very, very, very rare.
I think actually in this case it's, oh, never mind, we have dash. All right, that's huge. That's the best skill in the game.
Yeah.
Quite arguably. And you're going to see Muffin doing some crazy things with it right off the bat. We've got this fun little tech that you'll see him where he interrupts a dash with a little hop. It's called a dash glide. Much harder to do than it looks. And it lets you take that horizontal momentum and keep it while you're in the air, even before investing in air dash.
Yeah, and so like they're returning to neutral inputs as Eiko was explaining to dash glide. I was actually able to go through that slow zone where I jumped right before the slow zone and returned to neutral inputs, causing me to be able to keep my speed going through it. So it's not just to get over gaps and such, but like forced areas where you're expected to only be able to move at a specific pace. Then being able to utilize dash in that way allows me to actually go further at a faster rate, which is very, very nice overall.
Yep.
But there, I also just skilled into an ability known as air dash, where abilities and the ability tree actually end up passively augmenting Ori and potentially the skills that Ori will end up collecting. So with air dash, I can now dash in the air, whereas normally I can only start dashing while I'm on the ground itself.
Yep.
So that is very, very nice.
Air dash is really helpful, and even more importantly, it is on the path to charge dash, which is the best ability tree ability in the game. Muffin here is at 1 health and playing with my heart, but gets to level up, and it's fine. And here we have a little cutscene where Bird screams at you. This cutscene is actually for the base game intended to play only when you have Stomp. For various technical reasons in the randomizer, it either plays all the time or none of the time, depending on your settings. And Muffin is actually now going to be able to level up and grab an ability.
Charge dash, yeah, I'm going to do that in a sec. I just want to set up my save over here.
Makes sense. Because he's only got 1 energy and charge dash costs energy, Muffin is being a little careful with his energy allocation. Charge dash is really, really good. It makes Ori go very fast. It does 25 damage to anything it hits. We can use it for a glitch that lets us go either very fast up or down. And very importantly for the randomizer, it is one of 3 ways to break blue things, including these plants that we're going to see Muffin grab one of very shortly. And these plants have pickups in them in addition to EXP. And so there, that was Muffin using charge dash, breaks it, but now is out of energy until he is able to level up like this.
Darn.
That was going to be really tricky just because of the energy timing situation, but definitely understand going for it.
Yeah, so I've been going out of logic here because I got access to the right side of the map by opening the energy door. So I'm actually going to come back here and see what's in Spirit Caverns, because I haven't really been finding much of anything over on the right side of the map, which is kind of like the mid-game area of the seed, right? So if we open up the map and take a look at it, you can really think of the map in terms of like 3+ sections of the map. So here's where we actually ended up starting, coming over into Glades and in Blackroot Burrows, and then up above is Grove. And so these are kind of the early game areas right here in the middle of the map. Then over on the right side of the map, you notice that there's a lot of lights, and each one of those is a pickup location that we can get access to be able to get a check for potentially something that we'll find. And so this requires very, very minimal skill sets, but a little bit more than sort of the middle of the map, right? Maybe some sort of verticality, maybe a power skill like dash, charge, jump, or bash. Maybe something that breaks blue things like charge flame or grenade. But then over on the left side of the map, yes, this is very late in logic and very late in like a normal playthrough of the game. Misty Woods, Sorrow Pass, Valley of the Wind. All of these require multiple skills to be able to build a lot of verticality, have air retention, as well as enough resources to stay alive if and when you actually end up taking damage. So usually how seeds progress is you start in the middle, you go to the right side of the map, you go to the left side of the map, and then sprinkle in dungeons. The 3 dungeons as you progress through a seed itself. Yeah.
And here we see Muffin. Just gonna go through here. This is a door that you can break with blue. Oh, and that's very good. Stomp is a really great ability to find both because it does a lot of damage, lets us break things, and because Muffin can chain it with a charge dash well-timed and recover the energy. So now you'll see that was actually some really cool movement Muffin just did. C-dash cancellate, and there we have vanilla charge flame from the charge flame tree.
Yeah, so it's important to note that it's never in logic to actually break plants with charge dash like I have been doing. Normally you either need charge flame or you actually need grenades to be able to do that in logic. The only two abilities that are in logic with the mode that I'm playing, which is known as standard, is rekindle, which allows me to basically resave at a save that I've dropped down, and potentially air dash. But air dash is like pretty rare that logic would actually require me to level up it. But here's a really precise jump, getting that first try. Very nice.
Very smooth. Some of the movement here will look a little bit awkward to people who've played Ori casually, and that's because we have climb, which is a great, very useful skill, but we don't have wall jump, which is actually the first skill that you're supposed to get. Wall jump lets you jump off of walls. And it importantly gives you a bit of horizontal and vertical spacing away from the wall. So when you have climb without wall jump, the way you move up and down walls is like just sort of very awkward. You can't like push away from them as much as you can just sort of awkwardly let go. And so that makes the spacing on some of these jumps awkward. Muffin showing off that charge flame does not actually care about space between, only distance, letting him break that plant. And here Muffin is going to do some movement to move around a cutscene trigger that would take a very long time and grab a pickup on the way.
Yeah, so here I just want to draw attention to, so this is a sequence break that you would never see in the base game itself. It's very rando specific, and it's actually something that I came up with. And so there's like a million different setups for so many of these different sequence breaks all over the place within the randomizer itself. And so I just know so many of these, and so it's very unique because based on the skill set that you actually end up having, you bust out like very, very, very different strats.
Yeah, it's
as you go through
each scene. So incredible to see all the like beautiful little niche adaptations, and more of them keep coming up every time we do a tournament or just an event. People always find the craziest things. So here, Muffin is going to be continuing the outer swamp loop. Going to hopefully find the swamp relic out here, because if it's not out here, that means it's in inner swamp, and inner swamp is harder to get to. But we may end up having to go there.
Okay. So here I'm just going to take note of like stuff that I've done, stuff I haven't done. So here we've collected Blades and Grotto Relic. We don't have Grove Relic. We don't have Blackroot Relic yet. We don't have Swamp Relic, but that is okay. So what I am going to do is I'm actually going to make a play for Grove proper right now to check a number of things and sort of work my way back. So basically, I ended up skipping through here on this portion of Glades. Here's a keystone door that requires 4 keystones to get access to. And that would get me access to a lot of different checks. However, I did come over here to Charge Flame Tree, but I can't break the ceiling here, right? So the only way to get to this area was this key door.
Yeah.
Except what I can do is come from Swamp Teleporter and backtrack all the way back to get access to this area, which is actually the normal route that you would take in a normal playthrough.
Yep.
Funny enough. Yeah.
And you could also, if you end up wanting to, come in from the other side, because you do have that Valley Teleporter we found forever ago.
Right.
Yeah. But I love this play, honestly, because we can basically check everything in Grove, except for the light burst lock pickups, and this will be super fast, very fun, and the movement is just really cool. For example, this movement, that is a rocket jump, which is a charge dash that is basically flying off towards an enemy vertically, and then we cancel that momentum, which Muffin can use to go very, very high. We'll be seeing a lot of those throughout the run because they're just so useful. Oh no! So to rocket jump, you do need an enemy nearby. One of the spiders just shot, and it was brutal, folks. Let's not talk about how spiders treat other spiders. But because the spider shot hit that other spider, there were no spiders for Muffin to rocket jump off of, which is meant that he was not able to check another pickup that was over in that above Spider Lake area.
Yeah. That's okay. That was just very, very funny. And like, once again, like using charge dash is not really going to be in logic in a lot of the ways that I'm actually end up using it.
Yeah.
So like missing that check now, it feels bad, but that's okay. But if that's a relic, that's going to be very, very funny because I'm going to have to come back for that later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was that vertical wall that Muffin mentioned earlier. Here's where we're going to learn the lore of the game from a super unbiased source, but we don't want to hear it, so we're just going to skip the cutscene. This is extremely fun. This is actually a cutscene that the game lets you skip, but it doesn't let you skip it fast enough for us. This is actually a check that can mess up longtime random players, because for a very long time we couldn't figure out a bug that was making it random, that was like causing it to respawn and despawn. So it was just not a randomized pickup. And there, Muffin is finding the Valley relic in the very first pickup he checks in Valley, which is great.
Yeah, that is really nice. Valley is like one of the scarier areas, especially if you don't have bash or charge jump in particular, in order to be able to like check and like find the relic. So finding it that early on a pickup that's like very, very early is very, very nice in particular.
Yep.
But over here, I'm going to check a pickup that isn't in logic because I don't have clean water. It was just energy regen, so I am going to. Well, maybe I should actually keep that.
Might be nice. You're
only
at
on
one energy, but yeah, whatever.
So,
yeah.
I can hear your inputs. What are you playing on, Muffin?
Keyboard and mouse is what I'm playing on.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was gonna say that sounds like intensive inputting, unless you have like a mechanical keyboard where we can really hear.
Yeah. So when I was growing up and I was like a professional Dota All-Stars player and stuff like that, I had a tactical keyboard as a kid. So like the way it registers inputs on the tactical is you have to bottom out, like past the rubber cap, underneath the keys themselves. And so like slamming the finger down to like get like the frame perfect timings was just like, that's just like, I've never grown out of that, even though I'm over 30 years old. So like for the past 20 years, I've been slamming my finger into my keyboard.
It's to show off your passion for the game and the experience.
Yeah. Do you wear like compression gloves or anything like that?
No, not at all. Yeah. I am like very careful about my wrists because I have very limited range of motion in my wrists themselves. So I just have to be careful about handheld. But I use like a fingertip grip. So like I barely ever really move my wrists at all.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. I think you could.
It's a little tricky.
Oh yeah, this is really difficult stuff that you're doing here. I remember this with the menu eating up.
Okay, so something else I haven't done is I haven't turned in any map zones yet, so we're actually going to get on that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I actually have enough health to do this, so I am actually... So these spikes over here to... Well, these spikes over here to the right deal 2 damage. These spikes over here to the left deal 5 damage. So I am going to take an intentional damage boost there on the spikes to be able to progress through. The nice thing is that I'm actually pretty close to a level up. Yeah, there it is. Which actually fully refills my health and energy, as well as gives me...
Charge jump.
Yeah, an ability cell, and there's our second power skill. So, Aiko, do you want to just really quickly talk about power skills?
Yeah, so Ori has 10 skills that we randomize and the 1 skill that we don't sign. And some of those skills are better than others. In particular, charge jump, dash, and bash are just far and away the 3 best skills in the game. They all provide huge amounts of just movement options. You've been seeing what Muffin can do with dash all game. Charge jump is the last skill you get in a normal playthrough of the game. It makes you go very up very high. It combos with climb to let you move off of walls, and also it does 50 damage and breaks basically any barrier that can be broken. Muffin here is setting up a really cool trick where he's going to die to the lasers, and then get into the right position and spend an ability cell. This game has an interesting quirk where when you save the game and you are not on the ground, the game is like, well, you really should only be allowed to save on the ground. And so it puts your actual respawn location at the nearest ground it can find below you. So if you do one of those menu stacked save anywheres, and while you're in the air, you can use that to get to the ground below, which is great if, for example, there is an impassable laser that will kill you instantly between where you are and where you want to be. We call those save drops, and that is exactly what Muffin just used to get to those pickups down below.
Yeah, indeed. So I'm coming over here to Thornfelt Swamp because I don't have the Swamp Relic yet. And so with Charge Jump, that's actually going to give me really easy access to be able to get in here. And there's two different ways that I can get access. Over here was Upper Swamp Loop, which is where I was previously, which allows me to get access to it. But then also I can go from the lower entry, which is closer to Grotto Teleporter, and a little bit faster overall.
Yep. And if you're truly very horribly starved for options, the secret third way into Inner Swamp is to take the Ginso Escape, which is almost never the right choice, but it is very emotionally satisfying. All right.
Being only on one energy is really throwing me off.
This is wild. It's been a really long time since I've seen a seed where it takes this long to see the second energy. And energy management is very important and also extremely difficult because Charge Dash is so good. You want to be using it as much as you can. And you do see Muffin throwing in those Charge Dash cancels. And a Mega Energy is like energy, except we don't get to keep... Oh, there we go. Second energy. Just have to talk about it long enough and it'll show up. We love to see it.
Yeah, exactly. So another thing here is that, as I mentioned, the goal mode is going to be World Tour. So finding the relics is the important thing. However, I'm also activating trees because in Ori, for the randomizer, there is a clue mode that I can activate. So here I know that Water Vein, the dungeon key that's going to get me access to Ginso Tree, is going to be found in Misty Woods.
Which is great.
Whereas... Yeah. And so basically, when I activate 3 trees or 3 skill locations, not including sign right at the start, then it will actually give me a clue for one of the 3 dungeon keys. So currently I have 5 trees activated. So trees 5 out of 10. So if I get one more tree, which I'm going to do here, then that is also going to allow me to get my next clue. So as I got Water Vein, now I'm going to find another one. Here, what I just did is I stacked 2 cutscenes together. The first one is this looking up at the Kuro Perch, letting you know that this is a scary section. And then the second one is the scary bit, where I traveled far enough, causing me to enter an instant kill death plane. But because I was still in that first cutscene, Ori was still intangible. And so because of this, that kill plane gets deactivated until like I take a death or quit the menu and reload. So I'm kind of in this weird sort of glitched out zombie state overall for Ori itself.
Yep.
Then here, what I'm going to try and do is... Nope, I failed. Oh, this is a little scary.
You got this.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't do that. Nope, still, the shot's too close to me. Now I have to wait for the frog to come back. Come on.
We got this. We got this. Yeah, all right, first try. So that is the true power of the rocket jump technique that we've seen Muffin doing a couple.
All right. I know a backup.
Okay. Yeah.
This should be okay.
Yeah, because there's energy over to the right. Yeah, this will be fun.
Yeah, this should be okay.
Yeah. The amount of velocity you get out of a rocket jump is variable on a couple different things. One thing we're going to see here, it's really just based on a bunch of like micro positioning things. Muffin here is being very careful to not take damage. Almost has a level up, which is nice. It'll provide some safety. Oh my gosh. This is just going to engage in combat and gets to level up. Okay, we can breathe a little sigh of relief that 9 health coming in clutch.
Yeah.
And of course he wants to save his energy, but also you can't save after doing the kill plane skip that we did before. And so Muffin has to be really careful because if you die here, you go back to that before
you're in the kill plane. You spawn in the kill plane, and so you just keep dying repeatedly. And then you can't. So you can actually teleport out. It's not actually a soft lock. If you just like teleport before you actually die from the kill plane. But the kill plane is then there, and you can't stack the cutscene because you already watched the cutscene. So that would have been really bad if I had messed that up.
Yep.
But I was able to salvage it. I was able to recover. And that's just all part of like performing in like marathon performances and stuff like that. And now that the game is saved, I can quit the menu and reload, and that is going to remove the glitched out state, so I can now save with Ori.
Yep. Scary time is now over, and we learned that the Gumon seal is in Ginso. So we're gonna have a little bit of a dungeon keychain. The Gumon seal is what you need to get to the second dungeon, and we've learned that it's inside the first dungeon. So Muffin here is going to go into Gosh, we now have that third energy cell. Each energy cell we get is so valuable here just because it means you can do more charge dashing and also be able to save. Muffin is going through this area and making it look easy, but Misty Woods is the area that is just supposed to be a tutorial on the skill Glide and also an exercise in using the skill Bash. Muffin doesn't have either of those, but what he does have is the Swamp Relic, which is great because there are some just really bad locations in Swamp where the Relic could be, and now Misty, where the Relic can be, and now we know it's none of those.
Yeah, and so this is my other favorite aspect of the randomizer, is going through, especially late game areas, with limited skill sets. Like, I don't have Glide, I don't have Bash. And so both logic for the randomizer, as well as the base game itself, expects you to have both of those things when coming through the section, let alone also having wall jump, right? So just going through various areas with like skill sets that are not normal to the base game itself is so critical to speedrunning the randomizer proficiently, especially.
Muffin's making this look easy, but like these spikes all deal 3 damage, so even though he has 10 health, you can take 4 hits of damage here, and this room is just so hard to navigate without with this skill set. And of course, Muffin, professional that he is just making this look very easy, and is going to be able to head over here and grab the 7th tree, which is the climb tree.
Yeah, so we found the Relic and Misty, which is awesome, so I don't need to be here, but I still haven't found Water Vein yet. And so I would really like that access to Ginso Tree itself. So I am going to continue on through Misty. So there I just picked up Ultra Defense, which decreases the amount of damage that I end up taking from various sources, upwards of 50% of some damage sources. But the grand majority of damage sources, it is not 50%. Yeah. It's a bit lower than that.
It's actually extremely awkward. It reduces incoming damage by 20%, rounded down to the nearest half, which for things that deal not very much damage, cuts the damage in half. Very importantly for poison water, if we never find clean water, which we might not, that will be extremely important for being able to check underwater pickups in places like Swamp that have lots of them. And it's also nice because for damage sources like this, these Misty Spikes now only deal 2 damage instead of 3 damage. And there's the Water Vein, which is great news because after that pickup, we were going to start hitting an incredible difficulty spike in terms of grabbing Misty pickups with the current skill set. So that was very fortuitous. Though, to be clear, the things Muffin all just did were extremely impressive. I would have been taken like 4 times that time to get through that. And here we see Muffin doing a little vertical movement. He's jumping over an invisible cutscene trigger there. And now we're going to enter the first dungeon in the game. The guy who's just sort of hanging out there is hanging out there because that cutscene didn't proc properly. And it's the Ginso Tree. The Ginso Tree is very uppy. You go uppy in the Ginso Tree. The Ginso Tree is taller than the mountain in this area. It's taller than the pass that looks out over the rest of the world. It's very big. We cannot explain how big the Ginso Tree is. Did you just void out? I didn't do that.
Yeah, that can happen.
Huh. I've never seen that before.
I've seen that one before. Yeah,
incredible.
It's so incredibly rare.
Beautiful.
That's so funny.
Echo,
so basically, what happened there?
I had a slightly different version. I hadn't seen it before.
Yeah. So basically, what happened there is the game considered me out of bounds, and so there's like an internal timer or something in the game where if you're out of bounds during a specific sort of cadence, it'll just end up causing you to backload. Hang on, I'm just gonna focus.
Oh, you almost saved that.
Right, that's okay.
Muffin is avoiding having to do a puzzle by doing some complicated redirects. The charge dash has this very fun property where it will always redirect a shot to be perfectly horizontal. Muffin now is doing a really cool stack where if you charge jump and then charge dash instantly, you get the damage boxes of both charge jump and charge dash, which is 70 damage, which is a lot of damage in this game. The little attacks that you see Muffin doing with Sign deal 2 for some quick point of comparison.
Yep. And so over here is going to be a key door. So I'm going to place 4 keystones in, and then I'm going to come around. And there we're finding all of the energy cells. So that is really nice.
Yeah, up to 6, which is great.
That we're finding all the energy now.
And
yeah.
Ginto tree is so big, it has a tree inside a tree. This is the bash tree where you get bash. Unfortunately, we did not get bash here. Muffin checking which relics he does and does not have. Because he does not have the Ginto relic, it's time to go even further up. But there we have our Gooman seal, which was already hinted to be here. And so from here on out, the game expects us to have bash, which is a really cool skill we'll talk about more when it comes up. But this does mean that there are going to be a lot of barriers and movement options that aren't available to Muffin. And so we're going to end up seeing him have to take some alternate routes, especially in the room up above. And what it's basically going to look like is a decent amount of damage boosting, because there's spikes everywhere and we cannot fly.
Yeah, so here I'm actually going to set up for a very specific glitch, which is going to be known as key duplication. As I'm going to set my health really low, then I'm going to put 3 keystones in the door. And while those keystones are still in the door, I'm going to take an intentional death. So before I had 3 keystones, now I have 6. And so that is known as key duplication. Then just resaving the game will keep those in my inventory. Yep. And so this is used in the base game, but in the randomizer, there are a lot of different keystone doors and a lot of different doors that we can actually key dupe off of in different ways.
Yeah.
So the important thing is just being close enough to the door and then taking an intentional death. There, I ended up doing something known as a ghost door. Once again, so many things to explain in this game, where I was able to basically, before the door starts opening, it's just considered in a static state. And when it's in that state and you take a death, then the door is considered to be opened or just not exist.
Yeah.
So it despawns once you reload. Then once the door starts opening, then that's when it actually starts to respawn again. There I made sure to grab Ginso teleporter before coming up here, just because I might not want to do this. I am going to go for the redirect a couple of times.
You have stomp.
With Charge Flame. Oh, I'm stopped. You're right. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Here.
I mean,
okay.
I definitely understand grabbing the teleporter anyways. It's a great thing to be in the habit of. But so in this room, there's a puzzle, and oh, hey, there is a hardy tuber, which is a relic. But in that room, there is a puzzle that you need bash to do. And if you don't have bash and you don't have stomp, you cannot really do the. You have to do like these really obnoxious charge flame redirects on projectiles, but because Muffin does have stomp, he can continue here and do the Ginso escape, which has incredible music and is very different without bash. If you've played the base game, you may have found this a very interesting and challenging segment. It is very differently interesting and challenging if you are using charge jump and stomp and charge dash to do these amazing rocket jumps. There are 4 pickups here in this escape. So in addition to running away from that water plane, which is very deadly, Muffin is going to be having to grab these 4 checks. He's going to be using enemies, grabs wall jump, takes a stomp on that spider, and is now going to be heading up this very final section, which is very scary because the water here stops rubber banding. He's moving at a constant speed, but Muffin's moving faster and finds the Ginso teleporter.
Sorry, so that's the teleporter that's right before the escape sequence itself. That is amazing.
What did you do?
Well, the randomizer did this. But we're not done yet. Muffin is going to be using that save drop that we mentioned before to skip some poison water swimming and end up down here in the bottom of the water. This water is still poisonous, but it's dealing 1/2 of damage instead of 1 tick, which is going to let us check a bunch of these pickups down here. And we're really hoping, we found the polluted water canteen in the polluted water swim, which is great. And now Muffin can consider his options. He can search for the Grove relic. He can look into more left side stuff, maybe head into...
I'm just gonna head down the light grenade tree for the clip.
That makes a bunch of sense.
Or where Sunstone is.
Do let us in on this. Why is Richard laughing?
The pickup Muffin found at the end of the Ginso escape is just supremely useless there because it is the pickup that lets you teleport into the Ginso tree.
So there's a couple things that means. The first thing that it means is that the only way to get into Ginso was tracking down Water Vein. So finding Ginso teleporter in Ginso tree, you can't get that pickup unless you get Water Vein. So that's one significant thing. So normally we have 2 ways of entering the dungeon, either finding the dungeon key, which opens the door, or finding the teleporter itself. So that gated me to forcefully requiring me to, yes, indeed, track down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is because it was literally the last pickup in the Ginso tree, it was never ever going to be useful. There are times when you can say find the Ginso teleporter when you're in lower Ginso and use it to get to the top and climb down, but here it was just never ever going to be useful. And Muffin described charge dash efficiency, which is a randomizer only pickup, which halves the cost of charge dash to 1 energy or 1/2 energy. And there is the Black Root Relic, which is great. One of the things you're always a little worried about when you're playing World 2 or 11 is whether or not the Black Root Relic is going to be locked by the Light Grenade skill. About, I think, 40% of the pickups in Blackroot are locked by that ability, and
50%,
50, okay.
Over 50%.
Yeah, it's 40% Stomp in Horu. It's bad.
It's
rusted.
one third.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's 1/3 of the pickups in Horu are gated by Stomp, and then over 50% of the pickups in Blackroot are gated. Wow.
Oh my God. All right.
There we go.
That's Bash. Bash is the other contender for best skill in the game. It's also Ori's, I would say, unique signature skill. Bash lets you take a projectile or enemy for most values of projectile and enemy, grab onto it, throw yourself in one direction, and aid in the other. And that's already amazing, awesome. It also, but in addition to that, it resets your air dashes, resets your double jumps, basically gives you really cool movement. But if that's still not enough, we can present you a very, very, very cool glitch, which is called double bashing, which basically lets you do that, but you get to choose both directions of yourself and your target, and it basically lets you fly with a lot of instances. And we may or may not see Muffin doing a ton of that. Right now, he's going to be heading down here into the Forlorn Runes entrance because this is one of the relics we still need, and we're going to get to see that second of 3 escape sequences.
Yep, so here I'm just doing a lot of pretty precise movement. Whenever you bash, you are sort of locked in the animation for 0.2 of a second. So if I can do things like pre-charge or charge jump instead, then it'll actually allow me to be able to bypass losing that time. So there I saved about 0.5 second just from my movement, from skipping bashing certain enemies in various locations. And so there's a ton of these tiny little optimizations and little refinements all over the place within the randomizer. So if you think about a world records runner or a top 10% runner on a very popular leaderboard like Ori and the Blind Forest.
Oh, that was a great cutscene to skip, by the way. There was a cutscene that is extremely hard to skip, and Muffin just nailed it like it was nothing. Well explaining things behind a save anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, Covert Muffin.
there's so many of these little things, and I apologize. I wish I had hours and hours to just teach a masterclass on all these tiny little things that I'm doing all over the place and how precise they are. But really, there's a lot, chat. There's just so much that goes on into running a randomizer. But here we're in Forlorn Ruins, which is another dungeon which we have access to. Oh, that's big.
Yeah,
that is really, really big for me.
Extra Shovel Jump is so nice.
Yeah, do you want to just for 15 seconds or less talk about bonus pickups?
Yeah, so in the randomizer, we because a lot of the pickups in this game are just experience. The original developer of the randomizer, Torin, came up with this great idea that we would have a few things scattered around that would just give you extra little bonuses that you wouldn't see in the base game. One of them is extra double jump. It gives you an extra double jump, just like it says on the tins. It stacks with the ability that you can buy, which Muffin has. So Muffin now gets to do 4 jumps.
Yes.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yep, so this is going to be massive. So the reason why this is massive is I don't have glide. And so here I'm going to be coming and doing Forlorn Escape right now. And this is kind of the escape sequence that shows off glide. Whereas Ginso Escape showed off bash. And this escape sequence, you're supposed to have glide to be able to go upwards with the air currents. But with quad jump, having double jump, and then getting triple jump as an ability, and then having extra double jump allows me to do 4 jumps in total. And so getting out of this one initial starting room is going to be the big thing that quad jump did for me. I can do it with triple jump, it's just a million times more difficult, as well as going through. So this is incredibly difficult. The only reason I'm doing this is because I've practiced this and I've done this hundreds and hundreds of times, and in tournaments in the past when I've competed against other people in the community. And so I'm just going to stop talking and just really focus as I try and nail this execution.
The glide this forlorn escape is so hard, and Muffin is sort of adding a bit of difficulty at the beginning to add some safety. He is doing it behind that save anywhere, and because he's doing that, he can checkpoint in the escape by spending an ability point to take a save. He's already passed the first hurdle, which is that just getting out of that first room, which is very hard. Here he has to be careful because a bunch of these things that fall from the ceiling are instant kills, and he needs to get into very specific locations to avoid triggering them. Coming up next, we've got a spike corridor. Basically, the way to get through these is going to be taking some damage boosts both on the wall and on the floor, and he gets all the way through to here and is going to be doing a very cool damage boost. And gets his way all the way through the escape without even needing to use that save anywhere to respawn, and clears out the escape. That was incredible.
Yeah, getting that first try is super hype. I'm actually really there. I like riding that rock is like very scary. You have to be in a very specific spot of the rock, as otherwise you'll just fall off, and then all of the spikes in that last sort of vertical column end up being instant death. So if I had messed that up at all, I would have just died instantaneously.
How could you see what you're doing? I'm looking, spending all this time looking for the pixel on the screen that you are, and you're doing all these inputs, and I'm like, how can you see what you're doing?
It actually used to be worse. Save anywhere transparency is a thing that we added in the randomizer to like sort of decrease opacity. It's like Muffin said, he's done this. He's played 6,000 hours of this. He has a ton of practice at just sort of seeing through that ability menu to what's going on behind it. And now here we are in Sorrow Pass.
Oops. There's Kuro Perch. I'm going to check Kuro
Makes
Perch.
A ton of sense. For interesting reasons, this pickup that Muffin's grabbing here, despite being in this room called Valley Main, is categorized by the game as being in Sorrow Pass, and the randomizer must follow what the game says. Or, I mean, that's not exactly true, but we decided to follow what the game says, and so that pickup that Muffin just checked counts as in Sorrow Pass, and so Muffin, on his hunt for the Sorrow Relic, is going to not want to leave it behind. That movement you saw right there, that was a double bash. That was Muffin basically both choosing his vector and also the frog's vector, taking the frog on a little journey to get it in the right position to move up. There we saw a rare, but not nearly rare enough, and deeply annoying bug called climb storage, where you try to leave a wall in a specific way, and the game says, actually, you may have thought you were climbing, but secretly you were in this odd state that is not quite climbing, and therefore, be sad about it. Oh my god, why is Glide there? What? Hello? Excuse me?
Oh, I love it. Okay, so now we have Glide. So that's great. So this area is, you're supposed to have Glide to enter this area in a normal playthrough of this game itself. However, we found Glide there. So basically that means that Sorrow teleporter's on the right side of the map somewhere, pretty early in logic, which is absolutely beautiful. But yeah, so I'm just coming through this area. I came to the lower left side of Sorrow first because it has the highest pickup density out of the remaining pickups in Sorrow. And then also up top in the upper portions of Sorrow, there is definitely a good number of pickups up there, but there's also a lot of very, very high damage spikes. But now with Glide, I can actually just hold it down and be able to ride those air currents, which is very, very nice.
So this movement you're seeing here, this is what Muffin was supposed to be doing in the Forlorn Escape. And, oh, hey, the Tumble Seed. That is going to be the Sorrow Relic, leaving only two left. The Swamp, or wait, no, we got the Swamp Relic, Horu and Grove,
Yep, so just two more relics. So having this skill set and this, it is like very, very nice. Also, the other thing is that finishing Forlorn Escape actually gave us a clue as to the biomes where Stomp and Grenade are. And so one thing that really sets this randomizer apart from pretty much any other randomizer that I've seen before is that there are very few hardlock pickups in the randomizer itself. And so if you're unfamiliar with randomizers in particular, a hardlock pickup is a pickup that can only be accessed via one specific item or one specific skill, in this case for Ori, which in the randomizer is going to be either Stomp or Grenade. Every other pickup is going to be pretty much accessed in multiple different ways, which is awesome.
That is
overall. And so I love it. I just love how very few hard luck pickups are in this randomizer.
Yeah, and if you've played randomizers, especially if you've played multi-world and have been stuck in BK mode, that is a very funny place for the Portland teleporter. Hard luck pickups and hard luck checks can really slow down and gate your progress, because every time you have to like go and find one, it means you just have to like stop and just search the world for that one item. And there is our Grove relic, so we are only missing that horror relic, but we can't get into horror yet because we still need that sunstone. But we have the clue. We know that's in Grove, so Muffin is just going to clear out everything he can find in Grove. What is...
So just looking around the map. Oh yeah, let's go Death Gauntlet first. Death Gauntlet has like 4 pickups that are all right next to each other and are incredibly quick.
Yeah.
So Grove as an area is a really funny sort of thing as like on the map itself. So if I just open up the map and point this out. So here is Grotto, right? This part, right? It's all contained sort of in its own area. And then over here is Thornfelt Swamp. Once again, it's just all together. But Grove is absolutely buck wild. It starts here and then it sort of like travels over here, right? So it has this nice horizontal section. Then it snakes all the way up here. But then there's this bit that comes all the way down here and in this section, right? So it actually divides Glades and Grotto up entirely. So it's all over the place.
Grove is
an abstract painting.
Grove is just sort of awkwardly sandwiched between these other early game areas on the map. And ooh, that was no problems here. And as a result, this Death Gauntlet area that Muffin is in right now, side note, a lot of these names that aren't like bio names, and there's our Sunstone, very nice. Our community names, this one's called Death Gauntlet because in the speed run, you have to go through here on no energy and very low health, and if you die, you have to do this really obnoxious trick all over again. Very cool trick, also.
Aiko, do you really want to quickly just talk about some of the approachability features that came in recently for the rando, specifically around the map?
So one thing that's really cool that we got added to the game in a recent patch due to the work of another community member, D Numbers, is we now actually can just show you what pickups are in Logic, just built into the map. You can open up your map when you're playing the game, and it will just show you what pickups are the randomizer expects you to get based on your current seed's difficulty level and what you have so far. And this is really great. It's an incredible extension on the very similar feature that I built as like part of the OriRando.com website. Check it out, OriRando.com. That basically tracks where you are and shows you what's in Logic. And this is just such a huge feature that I actually added because I was struggling with figuring these things out myself. I actually joined the randomizer community as a casual player. I've never speedrun Ori. I don't really plan on it. But the randomizer just captivated me instantly, just with how much beautiful replayability it had. And one thing that I wanted to do when I started working on it was basically make it an easier thing for people like me who are interested in playing the randomizer to pick up. And one thing that really helped with that is this Logic tracking map. And now it's part of the game itself. You don't need a second monitor. You don't need to have a website open. You don't need to be connected to the internet. Your game will just tell you where you're supposed to go, or where you could possibly go.
Like for the longest time, like for at least 3 to 4 years, I was literally like reading text files of like where pickups were around the map after I finished seeds, and that's sort of like how I learned from experience as to what was in Logic, what was not in Logic. But we have so many beginner resources, as well as the community is just absolutely phenomenal and incredibly welcoming to anybody who wants to try out the randomizer. Irregardless, once again, as Aiko mentioned, if you are a speedrunner or not, everybody is just super friendly and super welcoming.
I love hearing stories like that. You know, we always hear about people being, established members of communities. That's great for keeping it sustaining. But I always love hearing about how people began their stories in the randomizer community, or how they began even just playing the game, not necessarily speedrunning the game. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, of course. And so now here we are in Mount Horu. Muffin mentioned at the beginning, but it bears repeating. In the randomizer, we made several changes to Horu to make it a more interesting randomizer experience. There are a couple pickups in the dungeon natively, but there are just not that many. And so we did 2 things. The original developer of the randomizer, Torin, came up with some really good ideas. And those things are, one is that the lava in the room all starts... Oh, excellent. The lava starts out drained, so you can access all 8 rooms. And then the other thing, which is really important, is that each room in Horu gives you a pickup upon completion of that room when you would drain the lava in the vanilla game. And so this adds a pickup to Horu, basically doubling the number of checks there, which makes it more likely to have interesting things in it. And gives you a reason to go into these horror rooms, which in the base game and in the randomizer you often never ever did because of a trick Muffin just did called a door warp, which just lets you skip the entire dungeon. And even if you didn't want to do that, there's a different trick for skipping the entire dungeon.
Yeah, so the way door warps work is if you enter the door on the first frame of that you have control of Ori on a load, which is when the screen is still black, then you end up wrong warping to somewhere else, and each door is unique. So that specific one at the very entrance just so happens to allow us to be able to go to the very end of the dungeon, which is nice.
Yep. And here we have the final escape. This is the accumulation of basically the entire game. Muffin is showing off all these cool skills he's picked up moving through this. It's a lot of precise movement on a clock. If you are too slow, the screaming bird comes and shows you a bad time. Here Muffin is taking this fish over here just so he can do a rocket jump and get through this fast, and that is GG. Muffin is just going to be holding right for another minute before we finally call time. And that was amazing. Great work, Muffin.
Yo, thank you. Yeah, it's definitely always really interesting where whenever I perform the randomizer, I always sort of am like, wow, we explained so much, but we explained so little. And this is just, once again, just a pitch to anybody out there. If you enjoyed playing Ori just as a base game itself, I can promise you that you will really love the randomizer as well. And even if you haven't played Ori before, maybe consider picking it up on Steam or GOG or somewhere else. And if you own the game, the randomizer is completely free to play. The speedrun community literally made the randomizer up from scratch. So major thanks to you, Torin, for setting the groundwork, as well as all the other people in the community who have contributed, and Aiko and everybody else for the continued work. Also, on OriRando.com, there is going to be a link to the community. So even if you don't speedrun, please feel free to join up and say hi. Maybe we can convince you to learn some cool speedrun tech so that you can feel really awesome. But there's just so many settings, so many different variables, so many approachability and accessibility options. There's a randomizer, but get ready on time. And that is time. Yep. GG.
And
GG.
Excellent.
Thank you. What was the end time? I'm actually curious.
I'm just waiting for an exact moment here because I'm a little behind right now.
No, it's okay. That's okay.
57:34.
Oh,
wow, sub 1. Good. Very nice, Muffin.
Great. Yeah, that was awesome. That was a great seed.
What'd you think overall of it? Tell me your thoughts.
Yeah, so really amazing job. I actually had a group of many people who vetted a massive pack of seeds for me. And so we just pulled one of those seeds from the pack itself for me to showcase here today. And so I major shout out to them. I'd never played nor seen this specific seed before. So everything you saw me do here tonight was just completely improvised and just off of the dome. Which is a really fun challenge, and I'm looking forward to see what seed they picked out for me for the upcoming GDQ Marathon as well. So major thanks to them. Major thanks to everybody else who has worked behind the scenes, especially for the randomizer itself. I cannot express, there's been dozens and dozens and dozens of community contributions just all throughout the years for just like sculpting this randomizer and continuing to make it awesome.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the tournaments, like I won the most recent tournament for doubles with my good friend Didu, but just there's so many people behind the scenes working on those as well, like restreamers and people who are trucking, as well as all of the commentators and casters and all of the other runners in the tournament, just make all of those events like incredibly special. So I'm almost tearing up thinking about this, but like I get to go to AGDQ and like do this on stage, and this game definitely has like over the years been the thing that's been precious to me. So I'm very excited for that. Yeah.
It's going to be so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And here we have the final cutscene of the game.
Yeah.
Very pretty. We have saved the forest. Now everything's pretty again.
Yeah. Yay! But we're not done yet. So after this, we're going to take a short break. I'm going to let Sky fill in all the details. But me and Aiko are actually going to be returning back to run another seed where we're going to be playing bingo, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Yep. And it's an unvetted seed, so, could be bad.
Ooh, well, you know how much I love those. We've had our discussions about unvetted seeds. But I assure you, when we get to the marathon proper, I'm very sure the seed will be vetted for that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We can be cursed on the show, but, when we're raising money for charity, we like to be a little more organized on randomizers. Certainly. So don't go anywhere. We will have some bingo coming up next. Real quick, though, on behalf of GDQ, as a reminder, your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. If you enjoy watching speedruns, consider subscribing to the channel to get access to our emotes and chat with other subscribers during our replays. So again, everyone be sure to stay hydrated, stretch. I'll be right back with Ori and Random Number Generation. Welcome back to Random Number Generation. I'm joined here by Covert Muffin and Aiko, and this is Ori and the Blind Forest. We're doing a little bit of a different take here, though. This is going to be, I believe, Blackout Bingo. So, again, I always love bingo. We never do it enough here on RNG. So, thank you for bringing the Blackout Bingo here. So, what are we hoping to look for here? Tell us a little bit about Blackout Bingo and what you hope to see.
Take it away, Aiko. This is all you.
Yeah, so in Blackout Bingo, we are trying to get all 25 of these squares. There are a lot of things going on here in these objectives. I will be talking about it more once we get up and running. But because of the set of goals here, we are going to need to get all 10. Not all 10, but we're going to need to get most of the skills in the game. We're going to need to get most of the access to all the dungeons, and we're going to need to go to a lot of weird places and do a lot of weird things. This is going to take a fair bit of time, just because of all the different requirements. Bingo is a ton of fun, but that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Muffin, if you want to count us down, feel free.
Go for it, Sky.
All right, we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right.
I'm looking at this, by the way, real quick. I know there's a lot to be said, but I'm just reading this as someone who doesn't know this game as well. This looks terrifying. Drowning amphibian.
Yeah, so actually, you'll
make
notice
Wilhelm scream. Like, what is this?
Don't even worry about it. So actually, one thing I want to shout out before we cover what these individual definitions are is that that bingo board, and there should be a link in chat for you to click it. There are little question marks next to every square. If you click it, you will get a pretty good my best shot at explaining what the actual specific thing is required there, and including the definitions of what some community names are, that kind of stuff. And glide seed, interesting.
Yeah, so now that we found glide, there's a higher probability that we're going to track down when restored as going to be the first bit of progression. So we'll see what ends up happening, but ability cell is nice. That also increases the probability that we're going to find dash early.
Yep. And I just want to proclaim that you've seen Muffin play this game. Muffin is amazing at this game. I'm decent, so expect to be looking at his screen more for the progression and stuff.
Oh, also, too, it's important, the pinned message, by the way, for anyone following along live, it has a link to the bingo board. So if anyone wants to follow along with what's going on, it also contains the links for both the streams, which, by the way, you all should follow. That goes without saying. But yeah, so if you want to follow it live, everything you need should be in the pinned message. Thank you again to Richard for doing that. We appreciate and love you.
Yeah, thank you, Richard. We love you
so much, Richard. All right. What if both of us?
Yeah, so right now we haven't really found any keystones. We haven't found a skill. We haven't found a teleporter. So we find an energy cell. So this next pickup is guaranteed to have progression, which basically means it's going to allow us to check one, if not more, pickups. And it is wall jump. So it's another early Black Root Burrow seed.
Oh, brutal. All right, tell me if fake flippers we're skipping.
Keystone.
All right, yeah, I'll skip that. And okay, teleport back. You're gonna both just basically doing very similar things here. We are not yet at the point where it would make any sense to see any route divergence. So you can actually see now in the bingo board, the first thing that's updated, we've got in that square C1, activate each spirit well. And we've activated the first spirit well, which is the Second Glade spirit well. And that was not actually the thing I wanted to level up, that's okay.
So we also have kill enemies as a square, so even if I don't necessarily need the Spirit Light from killing the enemies, I'm still going to be killing most enemies that I end up finding in early game.
Yep.
There's also going to be these swarm monsters that are going to come up later on, which are also going to be incredibly beneficial to take down.
They're great because you don't get 1 kill for everything that you kill there, but you do get 3 total, which is very nice. I did actually have to change that because
nerf them.
All right, here we get that nice level up. This area can be a little frightening because those spikes will deal 3 damage to you and kill you. Oh no!
What was that noise? Are you okay?
That is one of my least favorite enemies. There's one enemy in this entire game that I dislike more, but so the orb, there's some RNG with like when it actually ends up dropping down for you to be able to pick it back up. And so there, the orb was taking its sweet time with dropping. So the spider shot came, and it would have hit me, knocking me off, so I had to back off. And then the orb, where it landed, also RNG, ended up falling off, so I had to wait for a number of seconds for the orb then to go back into the air so it could drop again.
Yeah.
And it was all the spider's fault.
But what was that noise trying to communicate?
Muffin's gratefulness.
Behemoth.
For being on the stage. And Muffin, I have to say thank you for intentionally getting that bad orb RNG to let me catch up a little. So here actually you can get on this wall a little bit and then just sort of glide over here, which is a fun little piece of movement. Lets you get to this pickup slightly.
Oh yeah, we have glide.
Yeah, we do have glide. And I have 1 health and I don't. Oh, now I have none health. Brutal. Anyways, the pickup at the top of Blackroot is an ability cell, which probably worth grabbing early. I have to go back and grab that again. Unlucky.
So once again, early in logic ability cells. So the reason why ability cells increase the probability that dash will come up is we're running something known as standard logic. And so there's a few pathways that require air dash the ability to be able to get access to certain pickups if you don't have verticality, like through charge jump or double jump or something else like bash grenades. So those pathways are incredibly rare, but if air dash is forced progression by the logic on seed generation, which comes as sort of like a last-ditch effort to bring more pickups in to unlock additional things that you can check, then what the game will do is give you dash and it'll print out 3 ability cells on the map for you to find. So because we found 2 really early on so far, as clean water is gated by dash, then that increases the probability pretty well that we might end up finding dash. And indeed, there it is, dash, early in logic.
Oh, that is.
And so like I just know tons and tons of these subtle little nuances about how probabilities work within the seed generation.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so now that we found clean water as well, in logic, there's going to be 1 additional pickup that will come in, and then if we find grenade, that's also going to put another 1 in. But also something that can happen is the game will give us 4 energy cells, which will then allow us to get access to the right side of the map. And so either the game will give us another health cell to bring us up to 4 health, or what it'll do is give us clean water. And so because of that, most likely our progression over to the right side of the map is indeed going to be through, as I'm remembering to actually kill enemies, will be through finding our 4th
where
energy.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. That was just a map stone. Now I probably do want a map stone.
So really for like bingo routing overall, like the massive consideration is when do you actually push for the objective, which is like a very core thing with bringing down your overall average for speedrunning the randomizer itself, both with bingo and actually every other goal mode. So like whenever I've coached people, like either for tournaments or for like marathon performances and stuff like that, the thing that I always tell them is like, focus on your average, don't focus on individual seeds and what you should have done. Instead, it's like what you could actually end up deciding to do in the moment.
What decision will get you the best expected value? Here, you're going to see me do some...
Climbs on map 1, by the way.
Okay, that is very nice. We can do some up dashing if we want.
And there's a keystone at the end of Boulder Escape.
Cool. Wait, so then...
Yeah, behind the boulder.
Yeah.
So it's gated by Stomp.
Oh, that's a nice place for us.
So yeah, so like still with the early game and like the seed and probably for the first half of the seed, really widely what me and Aiko are actually going to be doing is really just tracking down our first of the 3 power skills, which are either dash, charge jump, or bash, or a second power skill from that list, right?
Yeah.
So we already have dash, but maybe we can find bash, maybe we can find charge jump. There are 2 keystones in the swim right by the
okay. That explains the logic. I was really confused. Like, shouldn't we have gotten some way to get out of here? But
right, yeah.
Keystones. All right, cool.
And then as well as like finding other things like blue breakage, so either grenade or charge flame, or it could be something else entirely, like a teleporter to a new area. So this brings out the idea when running a randomizer known as progression. So finding something that gives you progression is something that will ultimately unlock additional pickups for you to be able to check new pickups. So finding skills is sort of the most obvious thing. So like finding something like double jump to be able to get a little bit higher, maybe go a little bit further. Finding charge jump also gives you a lot of verticality, as we like to say in the Ori community, but also could be something that you may not expect, something like a resource, right? Like additional health to damage boost, additional energy to open up energy doors, to be able to check pickups behind those, right? So it can be like a number of different things.
Oh, did you remember to die to
ultimately,
the Crushers?
Sorry, what was that?
Did you remember to die to the Crushers, Lower Black Root?
No.
All right, sorry.
And so I'll go back to that.
Yeah.
Is that in Boulder Escape or is that just
the BRB teleporter crusher? So it's the Boulder Escape one.
Okay. Do Glades loop, by the way, before wall jump 3 as grenades.
Oh, awesome. Actually, we'll do that right away then.
Yeah. So we found grenade. So grenade is really, really massive, especially for World Tour 11, the seed that I played before we ended up doing this. Because it allows us to break blue plants, blue walls, as well as light lanterns. And so those lanterns that will end up lighting with a grenade to get pickups are the actual hard lock pickups for the randomizer itself.
Yeah,
and then for Stomp, there's specific pegs that you can only be able to push down by using Stomp.
Yeah. Light Burst was added in the definitive edition of Ori, and so the things blocked by it are like very just sort of a way to like sort of tie in the definitive edition specific things with the rest wider game. All right.
Okay. So here I'm going to fulfill the objective Aiko is letting me know about, which is getting crushed by the Crushers. I'm honestly not really paying too much attention to the bingo board itself. I'm going to be honest, chat, I really haven't played that much bingo. So there, taking the death is going to fulfill one of the objectives, allowing me to make progress on my board.
Part of one of them. So some of these, one of the things I did when setting up the bingo generation was to increase the variant is a bunch of these goals have hybridization things going on, where they will require 2 objectives, either one or both of them. And now, Muffin showing off a really cool trick where when the game pauses, sometimes some pieces of physics keep happening, including collision momentum. So Muffin can use that to get up there early. Actually, one thing that I want to do, if you want to take Charge Flame 3 first, I will head to the Spirit Caverns.
Okay, yeah, go for it. I'm also going to be coming to Spirit Caverns,
makes
but
sense. Split it up a bit. All right.
Energy cell in the plant.
Ooh, love to see it.
By Charge Flame 3. So there I'm going to level up to Air Dash, which is going to be a really useful skill as I progress through. But I also have 3 energy now, so I actually don't need to go over top to be able to get access to the right side of the map. So if we look at the map, here's Spirit Caverns, where Aiko mentioned that she is going to be going into. And then coming through here, in order to get to the right side of the map in logic, you would end up breaking this blue wall here, and then progressing over, getting you access to Grove proper, which is here, as well as Upper Swamp Loop, which is here's the Swamp Teleporter, and then coming up top is Upper Swamp Loop. And then down here is going to be Grotto. And Grotto is going to be a treasure trove for us in the mid game of the seed itself. That is absolutely where we want to get to.
All Keystones in Spirit Caverns.
Awesome.
So
beautiful.
Honestly, might be skippable. I'm heading up into. I opened the door, so I'm just gonna head up into Valley Entrance.
Cool. I'm gonna grab those Keystones.
Yeah.
My guess is that there's probably gonna be like an energy cell.
Yeah.
Or well, actually no, because we have right side progression and logic, so it could be anything. Yeah. Okay.
The other thing that's actually in logic right now is actually a ton of lower Blackroot. Oh wait, no, it's not. I'm lying. Stomp is a real pickup that exists. But we could go there if we wanted. All right, let's see what we got over here. So this is one of the enemy lures that's in logic at most difficulties, and you just get this guy to break this for you. Big angry Frankie stomps.
So up here, I'm going to be doing a glitch known as getting an energy stuck into an energy door. I don't know if it has a more concise name than that.
People call it energy glitch sometimes.
Oh yeah, it's a good one.
But yeah,
basically, yeah, go on.
If you put an energy, so these 4 energy doors, like you has these cool animations for putting energy into the doors. If you put an energy into the door, the frame that you move out of range and would recall it, it gets stuck in. And Muffin nailing that one, that's actually one of the harder doors to do it on. Is a frame perfect trick, and it involves some timing. Hey, you know what's in logic?
What?
Valley Long Swim.
It is in logic. You're correct.
I'm doing it.
Go for it.
This is.
Oh, that climb is so terrible with just wall jump.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna hate this actually.
So there, I jumped up the wall in a very precise and particular fashion to make sure the Frankie did not jump off of the side.
Oh. And congrats on your first square, drowning an amphibian.
Yay! Oh, Spear Light efficiency is in Death Gauntlet.
Okay, I need to get that 3rd energy. Also need to do some precise movement here to get this swim without stomp. First try, didn't have it.
Yo,
I was so worried I was going to get scorched there. 17 experience for my troubles. But Valley Long Swim is on the card.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll come back to that later.
Yeah, no reason to do it now. Just noting for our viewers at home that there are potentially reasons to be doing these things. I don't want to kill this thing because I am actually able to afford charge dash, and that is going to let me do some fun movement, but only if I keep that guy alive, and I did not do as good a job there as I wanted. Oh well. He's alive.
Insert teleporters at Water Vein, by the way.
Ooh, handy. Okay. This guy. That's not gonna work.
Okay. So now that I've leveled up to charge dash, I can actually build a lot of height off enemies. So using charge dash will actually home in on the nearest enemy. But then if I cancel that out with a jump, then that allows me to basically bypass running into the enemy and basically catapult off of them, doing something that we call a rocket jump.
Yeah,
as we talked about in the last seed.
And that's what had me sending up over to the ceiling there as well. Grove teleporter from the Grove tree or above Sea Flame EXP. So safe to skip that cutscene.
Okay, 2 Water Vein shards in the left side of Lower Grotto. So that's Ginso and Logic.
Yep. Oh, well, reachable.
You need all 5 shards, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here,
it's been a while.
Yeah, no worries. Here, I'm going to be trying that same trick Muffin was doing, getting that energy stuck in, and gets it, which is great. There's an energy cell above me, and someone will just let me check. I need to go back for that SLE soon. But I'm hoping I can find a 4th energy before I do. There's a grenade lock pickup here. I can grab that.
Yeah, so interesting move there is I use charge dash to actually home in on the mini boss. And then I dealt a lot of damage with charge dash, but then I also reflected its own projectile back into its face as a projectile spawned. So 3 charge dashes just kills that mini boss every single time. Yep.
Very cool stuff. Almost everything that like has a projectile in this game is vulnerable to its own projectile damage. This is because of dash, but there are lots of other ways to do those redirections, and it's really cool. I found a water vein shard in the Spider Lake approach. Nothing else of note in this area so far. I'm going to do a weird stunted, very like late range or long range rocket jump to get access to ooh, okay. Just need to be very careful here. So we can hit that. Okay. 1 health, no energy, no problem. Actually, that's not true. There are problems. Oh, thank you. That is exactly what I needed to find. Beautiful energy cell.
You're getting a lot of compliments, Echo, about your triangle light behind you and your attire, your makeup. I like your earrings.
Thank you. I love these earrings. I found them on Etsy. The seller is very cool. They actually are not using real batteries. These have a lithium hybrid supercapacitor in them instead.
No way!
That's so cool.
I was wondering how they were moving. Yeah, I like them.
They are LEDs powered by cool alternate power storage technology. Do not get them anywhere near water.
Got it. That's good to know.
But yeah, very cool stuff. I expect it to, in like 3 to 5 years, be like big in the wearable space. I'm going to get screamed at by a bird. Have not found anything interesting on the right from Grove approach.
Okay. I keep dying to the same area.
No, very understandable. Same here, honestly. Oh, I've been dying mostly I've been taking lots of safety saves because I'm afraid of dying.
That's actually pretty common for runners. I mean, we call that like snowballing, right? Like we do very well, and then we just find one area and we just die and die and die. Like that kind of thing happens.
Momentum.
Yeah, totally.
And here is one of those swarm enemies that Muffin was talking about. I'm going to blow this guy up, turn into smaller guys. I get extra enemies on my kill enemies counter. Fun little piece of community lore here. This pickup that I'm getting with this sort of lure here, you can get this with no skills. Randomizer lead developer Torin, when he was single-handedly writing the randomizer and all of the logic, got it first try and was like, okay, it must be pretty easy. It's actually very precise, and for a while it was in the lowest difficulty of the game because we'd never gone back and validated that. And then we were like, wait, no, this is hard. And now it is not in the lowest difficulty setting. Beautiful change. All right, here I'm going to do something tricky that Muffin was trying to do in the seed before, but did not have an easy time with because he had exactly 1 energy. Oh, we get nice happy swamp music. The visuals in swamp and also the music change after you get clean water, which in the base game you only get from completing the Ginso tree, but in the randomizer you get to, from a pickup, and we've got it. And with that pickup, I have now activated each of the 3 spirit wells required for the card on C1, and also just took a death that I didn't want to take. Oh well.
I did some silly things in Ginso.
Find anything?
No.
All right.
Nothing to note.
Fair enough. I am now finally going to go back and get that Death Gauntlet. Spirit Light Efficiency. Spirit Light Efficiency is one of those bonus pickups we mentioned in the last seed. It just doubles the amount of experience you grab. It's very valuable.
Stomp is the plant underneath Grotto.
Ooh, yeah, I see that. All right, I will head there. I want to... I'll do that later. All right. I'm guessing you didn't have time to check the 4 energy door underwater in Death Column?
No.
All right. Right,
nope.
Yeah, that would make sense. You energy glitched in here. All right. See if I can. I need a level up to do it. Alright, got my own amphibian drowned. And there is that delicious spirit light efficiency.
Oh yeah, I should be putting stuff in the purple tree.
We've got a card that specifically requires us to get purple tree stuff, and also multiple cards that want us to have and spend lots of ability points. So it's good to level up the purple tree early, because the purple tree has the game's built-in version of that spirit light efficiency pickup. Just an ability cell, by the way, in the Death Gauntlet underwater energy dort.
Okay. I am almost at spirit light efficiency. Whoops. So here what I'm doing right now is I'm just coming to pretty early in logic areas, just looking for verticality that's in logic, right? So using dash with charge dash is like never in logic with the mode that we're currently playing on. So just literally being able to move upwards to check stuff is going to be absolutely massive and important for us with like progressing through the seed itself. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to still be sequence breaking logic and doing lots of different things to just check lots of pickups.
And I am now basically going back and hitting up the areas that Muffin just hit, because I want to grab a couple different pickups as well. Oh, I can get my SLE now. That's nice. Did you do anything on the passage to Lower Swamp Entry?
No.
Okay. Legit.
There's 2 energy cells and a Gumon Seal Shard and Spider Pillars.
Okay, I want to open an SA, check out Clyde Vault, and I'm going to do this trick. Alright, cool. Got my own version of the Ginso teleporter, which is nice. And double jump would be really nice, huh?
Yeah, it would be really nice.
I guess that's sort of how it always is with double jump. Double jump is the best skill you never really need.
Yeah, totally. Like, and that's a nice thing too about double jump. Is like there's actually very few paths in logic that require double jump.
Yeah. It can be,
but it just complements everything
and
that you might find. Oh my god.
It can be used to access a bunch of things, but like it doesn't. Double jump, I think, does not uniquely lock anything in standard logic. Actually,
there's one pickup.
In standard logic, there's one pickup. The 3 skills that lock nothing, I think, are climb, wall jump, and charge jump. Climb, charge flame. Yeah, and those are notable because those are the 3 skills that you can find as the last pickup on the game in the game. The like final escape drop pickup. Because I've stopped.
Yeah, I've had a few, like out of like the 6,000 plus seeds I've done of the randomizer, I've only found charge flame on the final escape like maybe 3 times, but every single time it is absolutely hilarious.
It's so funny every time.
It's
Valley
so
teleporter from the Frog Waterfall lower right Ginso. Lower left Ginso. Sorry, I don't actually have a great name for this room prepped. And I'm out of energy. Tragic.
All right, it's in Ginso somewhere.
No, sorry, Grotto. The lower, the basically across from the area across from the energy vault.
Is it the health?
Yeah.
Okay.
Health cell down there. That's the Valley teleporter.
Okay.
And an energy cell from the plant there, which is great for refilling.
Yeah, that's a big thing about like the cells in general, both health cells and energy cells, is that not only do they increase the overall maximum amount of energy and health you have, but they also actually fully refill the respective resource that they are attuned to.
Oh wait, can I break this with charge dash? I'm pretty sure I can. Yes, thank you. Thank you, fragile wall. That wall can be broken by almost anything. Ooh, the horde teleporter is there also. You didn't find anything when you went to Ginso?
In the limited amount of stuff I could do now. I only checked the like 4 pickups in the key after the first key door from the teleporter.
I do think that's our progression. because I have now seen an absurd amount of water vein shards. Like I think I've seen either 4 or 5. So it might be our progression with Stomp. I'm gonna see what I can do. I also need to do a key dupe here because I just realized I came here with 3 of them. But this is a really fun key dupe. Wait, I can't get up. Dang it. Oh, I wanted to show off this. Wait, can I? One sec. I think it might be possible to show off this key dupe, and I really want to because it's a cool key dupe. It's one of the fun little like randomizer exclusive things because in the normal base game you cannot open doors backwards. Oh, I need that.
Yeah, that was a 2.0 feature.
3.0. 3.0 was when we like really started going ham on like the game modifications. Okay, so yeah, there's that horror teleporter for Muffin. All right, now I want to get up on this and then fall and. Oh right, it does not. Okay, I need to go find Keystone somewhere else. This is so sad. Oh, let's go play Despacito. I'm gonna do Outer Swamp Loop if you haven't yet.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
I haven't done it yet.
Cool.
I think that's a good place for verticality to be as well. I think that's the most likely place you'll find it.
Yeah, I think it is either that or the Ginso drop down, which with Stomp a fair bit of can be in logic. I see you're heading into Valley. Good stuff.
Yeah, actually kind of messed
up.
up.
Oh no. It's okay, backup save. This game makes regular backup saves for you, which is so nice. And actually, I think it was the last Terminator which we like sort of cracked like the underlying logic behind when it makes backup saves, which is super handy because knowing approximately when it will make those saves for you is just really useful. And now I'm going to open up an SA because I made a questionable choice, and I need to. That is actually really good. Oh, okay, cool. Drop a save here, walk this way, restart, because I have entered a cutscene. Okay, I found the Forlorn teleporter in the loop.
Oh, in Upper Swamp Loop?
Yeah, it's the plant in the hanging area.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Not get that AC with the skill set without doing some obnoxious movement, so I'm not going to.
Sunstone Shard on the way to Bash Street from.
Cool. Nothing else really along this path. I should actually go check the lasers room. I'm going to do that.
Oh my god, double jumps on
oh my god.
Bash Street.
I was right, I called it! And I'm still on 3 keystones, brutal.
I think I might be. It's been a while.
Nailed it. First try. That's just a key.
Yes, this is a very weird skill set. So basically, double jump is our quote-unquote first bit of something we call verticality, which literally just means helps us go up in logic.
Our uppy skill.
So, yeah. So charge jump and bash are definitely the big ones. Those make the most significant difference.
Ooh, I found the SAR teleporter.
Where was SAR TP?
SAR TP is the EXP above the laser cutscene trigger.
Okay, thank you. I will grab that now.
And now I can go back to Ginso with nothing else on the Ginso drop, I assume.
Besides the Sunstone Shard.
Oh, right, yeah. Save, and I'm going to do that Ghost Door Trick Muffin I was talking about earlier. It's harder to save a ton of time with once when you have a bunch of health going into it, but it's still very worth it. Do we have any walls, floors, ceiling thing? I probably should have checked that earlier. I don't see it, which is great. Alright, got that Sunstone Shard, delicious. Oh, I'll do Lower Black Root after this, because we need to, and it's in logic. Actually has been for a while. You know, Lost Grove Long Swim has been in logic since we got Stomp.
Yeah.
Cool and normal things.
Okay, I'm gonna go do Forlorn.
All right, have fun.
I will.
Muffin's home, Forlorn Runes.
It is my home.
Important tip here: the blue ability tree is by far the most important when playing Ori Rando.
Yeah, so yeah, the cyan tree in particular is just absolutely amazing, or it's what people also refer to like the teal or the blue tree in particular.
It's goated. It has
there's too many good abilities.
Like
yeah,
charge dash, triple jump, ultra defense, rekindle, the things that give you save on heal, reduce cost of save. It's just like the worst thing in it, I think, is like what infinite swimming breath, and that's still good. Absolutely full of value.
Yeah.
That was an interesting place to choose to die.
I think like also for so basically we have various different constraints which are known as goal modes in the randomizer itself. Here we're playing bingo, blackout bingo in particular. So we must finish the entire bingo board in order to be able to finish out the run of the randomizer itself. What I did last time was World Tour which had all of those relics and such. But the most run one that we use for singles tournaments in particular is something known as Force Trees, which sort of emulates the most popular speedrun leaderboard category, which is all skills, no out of bounds, no teleport anywhere. And so with that, basically we just have to go around and activate all the skill locations. And I forget where I was going with this, but yeah, there you go. There's a bit of information about the randomizer.
When you're there, remember that we need to visit Wind Restored and we need to get the Forlorn Escape Plant.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Wind Restored is actually one of the Stomp Walk pickups.
Okay. Handy.
If you want it. Okay.
Oh wait, I just... Cool. Okay, let me remember how to do the part of the game I'm doing. Light grenade hitboxes. Vanilla light grenade tree escape. Sort of casually. Extremely funny that they have you do this. Well, in the actual vanilla game, you could just do a bash grenade and get out instantly.
Yeah.
I
think that was one of the coolest things, like coming from the base game to the randomizers, like specifically. Like even when I started speedrunning this game, I didn't know you could bash off of grenades.
Oh dang!
I just never tried that. I just never knew it. And then when we came to the randomizer, I was like, I don't know how to get this pickup, and I had bash and grenade.
Yeah.
And Torn was like, yeah, you can bash off grenades. It just absolutely destroyed my mind. So there's like so many cool little nuances that you may never have like thought of or like come across when trying out the randomizer itself.
Speaking of tiny little nuances, this frog here for some reason does 5 damage with his attacks. It's not good, it's bad. Moon Studios do better.
Got a question from the chat. So it's co-op until the board is filled and then it's a race?
So in bingo, you actually just sort of end the game. Time is when the board gets filled. So we are doing not something approximately, we're doing something more co-op-y than racy because
we're sharing information, yeah. So normally in a race, when you race randomizers in particular, you're not allowed to know what your opponent that you're racing against has found or what they have found. And so because we're the only 2 people doing commentary and we're listening to each other as well as talking with you fine folks in chat, it doesn't make sense for us to be racing as opponents here. So we decided to do a co-op for this one.
Also, I have a ton more bingo experience, but Muffin is just the most experienced randomizer player. And so I think as a race, this would be much less interesting than as a thing that we're both doing together and chatting about.
Yeah.
I'm not really finding anything on the way to Lower Blackroot. I don't think I'm going to go all the way to Grandpa's house.
Do we have to do anything else in Blackroot besides die to the Crushers?
I'm not really seeing anything. I mean, we need the Spirit Well. It's a great place to get the pickups or the activate Light Burst, but that's it. Where am I going to go next?
Oh my god, Bash is in Forlorn.
Ooh, wait, where was your second Forlorn shard?
Spider Pillars.
I got that one.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I don't remember.
All right, brutal. Hey, does anyone? Any viewers remember where the? That's not gonna work.
Yeah, I apologize. I'm not entirely sure. It was Sunstone Shard in Ginso. It wasn't a Gumon Seal Shard.
Yeah, I got that one. Okay, well, either it'll be fine or it won't.
Well, yeah, we just have to find another one. That's it.
I guess I will actually continue in Blackroot a bit then.
Yeah. To help out, what I can say is that you're not going to find the Gumon Seal Shard in Forlorn.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's useful information that I could not have gotten otherwise.
Yeah, so it's impossible to find a dungeon key within a dungeon itself.
Yeah.
That's the joke.
Yeah. If it is being helpful with many asterisks.
Let's see. I guess I'm gonna go into Misty now.
Yeah, I think that
we can do all Misty.
Remember to die to the Misty vertical lasers. That sound ambiguous, but it's not. There's only one set of vertical lasers in Misty.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And then you do need to finish it out for the Gumon Seal activation.
Actually missed a little bit. Oh, it's like 4 minutes behind. Yeah, whatever. I'll just do this normally. It's fine.
We are in our own instance of the game with the same maps. Yeah. We do have some co-op modes that sort of sync up the game in some ways, but we aren't using any of them for this because that's not what we wanted to do for this.
Yep. So I'm actually going to show off a cool sequence break that is used in the base game speedrun as well, which is going to be known as Fast Stompless.
Oh.
So basically, I'm actually just going to show off these rocks just to help better explain the trick because we have time.
Yeah. I think that makes a ton of sense.
So basically over here, there are these rocks here, which you bash up off of these lanterns into birds, and then you use Stomp in order to break those. But we can also use like Climb, Charge, Jump. However, a Spider Shot will also get the job done. So moving the Spider Shot over there, just like that, and then moving far enough away so it actually despawns rocks, will allow the Spider Shot to make it all the way to the rocks, colliding with them, and then breaking the rocks for me. Then while I'm just waiting for the Spider Shot to connect, I can actually just grab this extra pickup as I'm just waiting for no time loss whatsoever. So just a nice little kind of sequence break as well as a little bit of an optimization over just going up normally and breaking the rocks yourself. Yeah.
I've decided what I'm going to do about my predicament is head into Sorrow.
Yeah, I think that's a good place. I didn't find like massive experience in
Forlorn?
Yeah. So I don't know how late in logic it is, but Sunstone Shard in the Valley shaft, in Valley proper. It's at the bottom of Valley proper.
Oh wait, I don't actually care that much about that experience. I'm gonna head over here. I didn't want to do that. Okay. I was trying to get a stomp off on this guy, but I think what I'm gonna do is do this. And then this will let me glide here, which is great, because then I can get over here without dying, and I love getting to places without dying. The thing I'm doing right now is a very fun little trick where you just sort of spam the stomp button, right button, and jump, and then eventually you get through. And I got through. Nothing on the path to the charge jump tree, which means I guess I can do that stupid stomp. Now this is not really a race. We are just sort of casually sharing information.
Yeah.
So yeah, like sort of like a little co-op-y thing. Though we do now get to hear the great music, completing the cycle, which is one of the best tracks in the game. Great, let me get this very normal trick. So Stomp is a shockwave that will break some things. For this specific wall, but spacing you need to be is very precise. I haven't done it in a while. There we go, though. This is actually still really obnoxious because need to do a damage boost there. And this is great because now I can get into this room over here, the Sorrow Spike Maze, which is on the card. I need to die here. Now I've died there. It's great. Now I have that A5 card. And I can check all the pickups here.
Is that Sunship's Sanctuary?
Yep. The inverted porcupine intestine. We had a tournament where a bunch of different community members, we were just all coming up with different names for this room I'm in. A lot of potato chip references. Okay, I now have Sense, which is neat. Oh, Charge Flame's in there, by the way, in case you were wondering where Charge Flame was. It's in the Sorrow Spike Maze.
Where is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wanted to reiterate for folks coming in again, because there's been so many questions. I haven't been talking as much since both players need to communicate information. And it's not a race, it's co-op. Both players have access to the bingo boards and are working towards these goals together.
All right, I'm gonna here do a really normal thing. Lasers aren't real and they can't hurt you if you're going fast enough. Specifically, you can charge dash through a laser, and it is pretty consistent if you get right up next to it and then charge dash. Like that. Always a little terrifying to do at that specific location because when you get stuck, when you're on the inside, you can't save, and so the only way out is through. Oh, come on. I really wanted that. Okay, don't remember what mapstone that is, but it's not anything. No! That frog. Why? Why, buddy? Alright, do we have any relevant die twos? Oh, I need to get up to this. Oh, I can get up to the Sunstone. Okay, I guess I should float up there now before I get any further down. Sunstone, reminder that the Sunstone pickup is on the board.
Oh, so you need all 5 shards?
No, as in, like, the physical pickup at the Sunstone is on the board.
Oh, okay, pickup location.
Yeah.
Alright, got it.
Oh, this game is so pretty. Really never gets old.
It is, yeah. Oh, actually, we need to make Wilhelm screens, so we do need all 5 Sunstone shards.
Only 3, but yeah.
Oh, only 3? Okay.
Yeah, he spawns once you have the Sunstone, right? So.
Oh, Truche. Okay. Got it.
Muffin, you've been trying to make Truche happen for like 5 years.
I'm going to always use it. It's such a good word. So I have a tendency to mix 2 words together.
It's fun and good.
In order to create a new hybrid word that was stronger and more potent than their individual counterparts. So true and touche is one of my favorite machinations. I also use probtentially and bread tuition. So like bread tuition, for instance, is when you're toasting a piece of bread and you just know that your bread is like 10 seconds away from like popping out of the toaster, right? So that's bread tuition, right?
Yeah.
Bread intuition. Yeah.
I still haven't found a Forlorn Shard. I'm so sad every time I see something bashable. It's okay.
Oh, actually, I'm gonna go.
All right, come over here, little buddy. Getting a lot out of my rocket jumps, though. Probably I actually shouldn't be looking in Sarah. I should go to Swamp.
Yeah, I think somewhere earlier in Logic might be better.
Yeah, maybe I'll go to Swamp. Well, okay, I want to sense check this area real quick, and then... Oh, okay, there's something up here. I guess it's probably a Sunstone Shard.
Oh, do you want to talk about sense and what that does?
Oh yeah, so I skilled the top ability in the purple tree. In the base game, it lets you see secret passages, which is not very useful. In the randomizer, what sense does is it gives you like this sort of like hot-cold mode that as you approach a pickup gets you like you start to change color as you approach a pickup that has a key item. Which here is defined as the skill or dungeon key or right side teleporter. Where was Bash again, by the way?
Bash is in Forlorn. It's underneath the waypoint.
Okay, perfect. I need to run there, grab it, and then I'm going to... We don't have keystones in inventory, so I can just...
Oh, I need to go to Grenade Tree. Okay.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
No, nothing to apologize for. I'm just looking at the board now. Which I haven't been.
Yeah, no, I know how it is. Oh, I'm sensing something in Forlorn. Was there a Sunstone shard in here, you said? There's Wind Restore, Forlorn.
I can't remember, so
no
if
worries.
I did, then yes.
Either there is or there isn't. I'm sure I can track it down. Ow, my bones. Lasers, very bad for your bones.
This is true.
Oh. Lasers here are really obnoxious because they are mostly on a like cycle that looks like it is a one-way cycle, but in fact there are two variations depending on which of the lasers, and one of those goes far enough into that room to give you a very bad time, and the other only far enough to give you a kind of bad time. I have Bash. I should remember this. All right.
Oh, nice. You were able to get into.
Yeah. There is. I found a Sunstone shard in the floaty keystone lower left star arrow room. And there was a Forlorn shard there too.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna head into this.
Where is this sensing? Is it up here? It might be up here. Okay, come on. Save so I don't die. There are 2 grenades. Bloop, bloop. Being able to bash off grenades is great because you can chain them. Wait, I'm turning black again, which is not great for my... Oh! Warmth Return was in Forlorn. That's what I was sensing. Beautiful. I think I probably do want to leave out the front just for the pickups.
What's the floaty keystone?
That over to the left, the 4 keystone vertical room.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
There is
okay.
a Sunstone shard in there.
All right, great. Thank you. All right, yeah, I'm just gonna head over there.
Sense. Oh, I actually don't want to kill you all the way. I want to get valley pickups. Forlorn. The outside Forlorn track is really, really good.
Yeah, shout out to Gareth Coker.
Incredible.
Me and Rickard, who is restreaming currently, both got to meet Gareth Coker at a PAX East once. It was awesome.
Alright, and now I get to do the easier version of the kill plane skip setup, which is you just sort of throw a grenade and let it take you into the imaging zone. Maybe I'll check Lower Valley for... Is there something? Oh, is that... What was I sensing? Oh, okay, found a Sunstone shard in Lower Valley, thankfully. Which means I'm in a perfect position to
yeah,
make
that's
Wilhelm
where it was,
scream.
okay.
Alright, so, this is Wilhelm. Hi, Wilhelm. Bye, Wilhelm.
So you have to make him scream. Now, what is that? I've been thinking, this has been on my mind the entire time Run Free. What does it mean to make Wilhelm scream?
If you throw the frog here off a cliff, he will do the Wilhelm scream.
Why, this is such a beautiful game. Why is there violence? Why are we drowning? Why are we screaming? Why are we throwing things off cliffs? That's so contrary.
It's all in order to save the forest.
We're here to save the forest. Don't even worry about it.
but that's contrary. That's nature that we're doing bad things to, right?
The final boss is an angry bird. I don't know what to tell you.
Richard,
We must save the...
Richard knows I love critters. Richard, why is there so much violence in this game?
We must save the forest by killing the forest.
Yeah.
It's the only way.
So, if you were new to Ori, and just randomizers, period, within Ori, what was like some of your biggest challenges when starting this? Like, what was like the thing that you kind of had to get over, those hurdles?
Mortal fear of trying speedrun tricks. For me personally.
That's a real thing. That's very, very real. Yeah, I've heard that a lot from people. It can feel really overwhelming. Like, one of the biggest things that bar people from randomizers in particular, especially me, is knowing all of the pickup locations. Because if you don't know the pickup locations, you can just miss a pickup and then feel like it's impossible to actually progress in the seed. When in reality, it's not impossible. You just don't know enough about the video game, right?
Right.
So, like, that's why, like, resources we have, like this map that shows all of the pickup locations, as well as having a filter to show the specific things that, based on the resources and the skills you have, what is actually expected to be in logic for you is just absolutely a massive for approachability in the randomizer itself. For me, with my personal experience with picking up the randomizer, because I started from the beginning of the development and going in, is that there was no clues, there was no shards to be able to track down dungeon keys. There were literally one pickup out of 256. So, like, you could start off a seed by, like, getting all the skills, but then it was 1 out of 256 checks for you to be able to actually track down those dungeon keys. So that's why we added in, like, clues as well as shards as a potential way to help track them down. So, like, it was really funny. Like, seeds could take, like, an hour and a half, or it could take 3 to 4 hours to, like, finish them out. But now, for me, it takes me about an hour and 20 minutes to 100% of seeds. If I am trying really hard to speedrun as fast as I can.
Would you say the OriRando.com can also help things to feel a little less intimidating?
100%. Aiko, do you want to talk about, like, some of that stuff? I can as well if you're focusing.
I'm mostly dying to lasers at this point, on purpose, actually. I'm supposed to. Yeah, OriRando.com, we have some really cool stuff. A thing that we did as a community project a while ago, but which I'm still super happy about, is the starter seeds, where we have just like a series of like custom designed seeds that are like designed to help you learn how to play the randomizer, and each of them has like a series of hints attached to them. And those are really cool. There's incredibly detailed definitions for all the logic modes, what's expected of you at each one, a glossary of what each bonus item does. Do we have anything else to do in Misty?
Gumon Seal, if you haven't done that.
I'm heading there now. And I need to do Forlorn, and then I am mostly done with right side things. I need one more Valley pickup. Oopsie daisy.
Yeah, I was mostly quiet earlier because I wanted to wait till y'all were settled in the seat. I know how co-op randomizer stuff can be. It's understandable. But yeah, these were some of the questions that I had. And again, Richard here doing a great job with the interface, you know, talking about OriRando.com. And that's why I was wondering if that helps out with some of the beginner obstacles that folks might have of learning. Iko, you were saying before that you don't have to be a speedrunner to play Ori Randomizer.
That is correct. We have several community members who have never speedrun the game, myself included. We have at least one community member who has never played Ori non-randomized, which is still so funny to me.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Oh, before you leave,
love that.
Did you get the stomp area?
Rhino? Yeah, I got the purple door there.
Okay, cool.
Just
Nope. I saw you teleporting out. I was like, oh wait, oh no, did I forget to mention? But you got it. Everything's fine. Wait, why did I get the grenade pickup here? I didn't need that. All right.
So some other stuff on OriRando.com is that we do have a logic helper. So, like, the in-game logic map, it only looks at the things you have, not necessarily what the intended progression of the seed was. So if you go, there is a logic helper where you can just drag and drop your seed file, which is just a text file that prints out all the locations and like what pickups you'll find there. And so you can just go through step by step to see what the seed expected you to find at like various portions of the seed, as well as the specific order, which can be really, really daunting to somebody who is starting out, as well as like just learning sort of how the seeds tend to progress and how they tend to shape up.
Yeah.
As you work through.
You can get some of that most of that information in like a text format as well, but the logic helper really helps you visualize it. And you can also just go and be like, okay, if I had this skill set in this difficulty mode, what would be the set of pickups that I could grab? All right, and that is my Gumontiel turn in.
Yeah, I just have to get... Oh, I have an energy door I need to open. I think I know which one I can go to pretty quickly. Oh, yeah, I can just do that. All right. I'm going to go back to Death Gauntlet.
I think, yeah, that makes a bunch of sense. Okay, there's my Gumontiel. Now I need to go back out so I can get a pickup in Valley. Man, no charge jump, huh?
Yeah, no charge jump. So no grenade jumps again.
Yeah, so sad.
That's funny.
Where's the Valley pickup? Oh, okay, I can get 3 bird cell. That's nice and simple.
And then I head to Horu.
Wait, what am I sensing?
Yes.
I found a Sunstone Shard at 3 bird cell. Okay, so now I want to go into Forlorn and do the escape. Oh, I still need the double jump tree.
So we need L4 and L1.
Either.
Right.
So do... yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I need to take an intentional death because I need to key dupe. Wait. Okay, so I also need to take intentional damage. 1, 2, 3. Here I'm doing another one of those key dupe tricks because I need 2 more keystones to finish out the game after I open this door and go through.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to be... So get ready on time, Richard.
Alright. And yeah, that'll be time for you.
And time. Should be time.
Yeah. The game will take a little bit of time to pull it in, but like you can go ahead and call it. Alt L will not fix it. It'll. It just sometimes takes a little while to register. Yeah.
Yep. There it is.
And you can press that key binding if you want to work the credits. One thing that's cool about Bingo that I haven't really talked about is that you get to the game Ori Bingo auto tracks using the website, which is very nice. Because there's a lot of things going on here, and it would be really, really hard to just keep track of them on our own.
Yep. So this is actually perfect with Eiko still showing off gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
The credits are amazing. We've added our own sort of custom messages and blurbs, or the developers of the randomizer, Eiko and Fam did.
Yeah, excuse me. The credits were actually one of my like initial project, or one of the first big projects beyond like the multiplayer that I worked on. And I was and still am really proud of them. Yeah. I'd actually love to, if it's okay with Richard and Sky, to once we finish, if we can just do the credits on my side, and then I can talk through that a little bit.
Please do.
That would be great.
Yes.
I would like that.
Absolutely.
We got some spiky bits, and this is the Forlorn Escape. I am literally just here for this plant, and now I can go clean up a bunch of things at the Moon Grotto area. I need to pick an energy door to finish. Have all the ones in this area. Oh, I can do the one at Glazer. I missed the ones. All right, here we're just I'm heading straight to the double jump tree. Ori has various ways to like get horizontal momentum in the air without like resetting it, and bash being one of them, and then you can just sort of glide. Very satisfying piece of movement, very easy to do. One of the first things I picked up as a casual runner, and just extremely very fun.
Yeah.
All right.
I think something else that I really do want to touch on, because we haven't talked about it too much, is that the randomizer has a number of settings and modifications to many different aspects, well beyond just specifically sort of modifications to what you will experience within the game itself, right? So for the game itself, we have like various cutscenes that were either removed, like normally when you pick up something significant in the game, or you like stand still for like a split second and a toast notification comes up. There's a bunch of dialogue boxes that normally you have to like mash through and stuff like that. Like all of those ended up just getting removed. So if that like affects your hand health, like mashing in particular, there's very little of that within the randomizer itself, which is really amazing.
Yeah, and we actually have a bunch of other like really cool accessibility settings that touch on that even more. We have Ori is a game where you have to hold spacebar to swim faster. In the randomizer, there's a flag you can press that's just actually hold spacebar to swim slower, so you don't have to hold down a button nearly as long, which is really nice. When I was working on this game, had hand problems so bad I ended up needing several surgeries, and that change really helped me out. We have some other cool things, including a auto fire for the basic attack, which is otherwise requires a lot of spam. So it is very nice to have that. Shout out to Bulletin who implemented that.
Yep, we also have native cursor lock, which is actually not in the base game itself if you have multiple monitors. And then there's a lot of other amazing things. Like one of the biggest things I really like about the randomizer versus the speedrunning the base game as well is that there's a lot less bias between input methods. And this is like really important for me because like I've been in the grand finals of like every single Ori tournament that I've ever been able to take part in bracket phase. So like if I'm competing against somebody who's on controller, I want it to be the most comparable and the most fair competition possible, right? So like some of those settings are various things like extending the bash dead zone on a controller for the analog stick. So like releasing the analog back to neutral is like a really important thing when you're letting go of bash if you want to like use that speedrun tech. But then there's also things for people who maybe are a little bit intimidated with learning speedrun tech, such as double bashing, right? Double bashing is no longer a frame perfect trick. So if you just hold down bash and then set another bind within the randomizer settings itself, then you can just guarantee for a double bash to go off.
Yeah, this is what double bashing looks like, by the way. We haven't really showed this off. This is me just sort of flying with this projectile. Just sort of do this. And when I joined, double bashing was not free. It is the moderately consistent setup for mouse and keyboard runners, but it was still pretty difficult and much harder for controller players. And so it is really cool that we have this option in the game. And as a mouse and keyboard player who never really learned that setup, I love that we have the accessible double bashes option, and I really feel like it's in a lot of ways just sort of like expanded and raised the skill ceiling for like the things that you can do in the game. It's really cool.
Agreed. It definitely has improved like my skill as well. Like, and so like even though it's not a frame perfect input, like one of the biggest things for the community was it's clear that like nailing the frame perfect timing for people who speedrun actually isn't as interesting as you might think. But what you do with the double bash is the more interesting thing to look at and like strategize and optimize and refine. So the frame perfect timing just doesn't really add anything to the trick whatsoever. And so, especially in a competitive sense, it really has elevated, I think, the play across the board at like all skill levels of players and experience levels as well. Another thing is the frame perfect timing for a glitch that we didn't necessarily get to showcase tonight, known as grenade jumping, has also been removed. So you can just bind a single key to guarantee that you do this amazing glitch that is like very fun and very great to watch as well for spectators. But then also various other like accessibility and approachability based things like reducing the camera shake on the screen. Like that's not something that you might think of normally, but like just being able to reduce that is just super, super duper nice in general.
Oh no, lava.
Yeah, there's a lot.
You're invulnerable while teleporting, so it's very fun to just sort of stand there. And Muffin got to this pickup down here using that doorwork trip. I am doing in the community what we call choosing violence.
Look away, Sky!
No, don't do it. Don't do it. No. Well, please think of the animals.
Oh, I did.
Get ready on time.
Yeah, this will be
Eiko?
time for me once I grab this pickup. And the bingo board will pull it for me.
Yep.
Oh, and then...
That's time. You can just mark time for Eiko.
Yeah. And, yep. I'm going to just sort of wait around for a bit while it...
There it is.
And here we have the credits. I just want to say huge shout outs to every name you're going to see here in these credits. Torin, without whom none of this would have ever happened. Me, Melody, and Foolagin all worked together on the 3.0 release, which was a huge overhaul. And then everyone whose names you see here has contributed a ton of stuff. Zemsys worked with me on a bunch of Ori 1 stuff and also helped me co-develop the Ori 2 randomizer. Devil Squirrel developed our auto splitter and helped a ton with looking into the... I cannot keep up with these names fast enough, but just every single person here has a place in my heart and contributed to this community in some way. And it's just been like a really special and important community for me. I came to the Ori and the Blind Forest community out of a just sort of really toxic gaming community that I spent like 5 years in, and the people here were so welcoming and so helpful and were just so cool. You may have remembered Muffin mentioning tournament stuff. These are the winners for every tournament that we've held, and we've got some of the runner-ups there. You can see Muffin's name on the screen in a couple different places. And of course, Torin, the original developer of the randomizer.
Beat me in the grand finals in both singles and doubles in 2018. It was so close.
Yeah, God.
Were good races.
They really
were fun.
And this is another one of the 3.0 features that I worked on that I'm really proud of. Stats. We can show you where you took your deaths, where you spent your time, what your pickups. A minute where I spent 23 minutes in MISC, which should never happen. Or 23 seconds. Very decent run.
Honestly, like a sub 108 on a blackout bingo is really impressive to me. That was a great run. Well done.
Thank you. I mean, the co-op helps, but yeah, no, that was really fun. Very fun stuff. I love these stats here. Most deaths at a single save, longest time without total time lost to death, longest time without dying. When you see a 4-digit, or when you see like a more than like 10-minute number here, you're like, But yeah, no, this was very fun.
I think like talking about tournaments especially, we're kind of pumping the brakes on a lot of the events because organizers are a little bit burnt out. We definitely intend on putting events in the future. So if you're interested in helping out, either restreaming or helping organize them from the ground up, feel free to jump in the community and offer to volunteer and like help out. We always have like many people helping out with every single event that we ever put on. A lot of the events as well have been hosted by Speed Gaming. We love you folks at Speed Gaming. But then also twitch.tv/Ori Speedrunning. Is where a lot of events that we've done in the past as well, including tournaments, as well as an Ori-versary celebrating the anniversary of the release of both of the games, which was really fun to do. And it's just, I can't stress enough, right? Today, it was me and Eiko showcasing off our skills, our knowledge, and our experiences in the randomizer. But really, whenever somebody like myself or Eiko goes up and performs, there are dozens, if not hundreds of people who have worked on this randomizer, contributed to the randomizer, the tournaments, the speedrunning scene, the leaderboards, all of it in a speedrunning community. So just major shout out to them. If you want to join a super welcoming, super awesome community, you can go to orirando.com/Discord and just typing in that URL itself will just bring you to an invite to our speedrunning Discord. So even if you have no interest in speedrunning, if you want to try out the randomizer, we do have a casual logic, so you don't need to know any speedrun tech to try it out. It's very accessible, it's very approachable, and it's super duper fun. So I cannot sell it enough. If you enjoyed the base game, you will love the randomizer. It is that good. I convinced Blood Thunder, one of my good speedrun friends, to try it out, and it's like since then he's told me it's his favorite speed game of all time as well. So it is that good.
It really, really is. And the people are too. Thank you so much for having us on, Sky. This was a wonderful experience.
Yeah, thank you, Sky, so much.
Of course, there's one more thing I want to make sure we want to cover, other than, of course, again, one last time to follow both of these wonderful runners here. That is twitch.tv/covert_muffin, twitch.tv/EIKO the blue. Again, all one word. I want to make sure YouTube has that as well. That's why I pronounced it that way. We have, again, we were talking about not the bingo necessarily, but this being a preview at Awesome Games Done Quick 2025. Yes. So, Covert, will you please let us know the day and time in which that will be happening?
Opening day prime time, baby.
Yeah, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. This is going to be the first time that Ori Randomizer has been on a main stage GDQ, and I am so just overjoyed and so excited and thrilled that it's happening.
Yeah, I'm getting nerd chills just thinking about it. I'm so excited. I've been submitting the game since I got my first tournament win back in 2017, and Games Committee let me through, so I get to show off my stuff up on the mainline stage. And Aiko's going to be joining me on couch once again, so I'm super excited for that. Make sure you tune into that. I'm so excited as well to be raising money for Prevent Cancer Foundation. It definitely means a lot to me, especially they're an amazing charity, and all the money raised at Awesome Games Done Quick is going to Prevent Cancer Foundation. So make sure to tune into that. It's going to be a really fun week. And there's a lot of amazing speedrunners and speedruns that are going to be showcased throughout the entire event. So definitely tune in starting on January 5th. And my run is January 5th at 5 p.m.
All
Eastern.
right. Awesome. And again, thank you both for being here. Thank you for taking the time to be here. And again, thank you to the entire community for just putting so much love into this randomizer. It's one of the reasons why I like to feature this at least once a year, to make sure to give you all the love you deserve, because again, just so much work put into this.
Thank you. Yeah, totally. Thank you, Sky. It's always a pleasure to come back to your shows. I have so much fun performing, and I love watching your content and your shows. There's always good stuff to check out.
Well, thank you again. So real quick, again, this is not the end of our Hotfix broadcast, but a few announcements again. Speaking of AGDQ 2025, AGDQ 2025 will be live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania from January 5th through the 12th. Visit GamesDoneQuick.com and check the AGDQ 2025 important dates section to learn more. All three of us are going to be here featured, and of course, Richard will also be there too. So again, y'all should check us out. It's going to be a great time for a great cause as well. Join the official GDQ Discord and add the Hotfix role, where you can keep tabs on upcoming events, talk with staff, and more. Use !Discord and Twitch chat for more info. And if you've missed out on any of our shows or events, be sure to check out the VODs on youtube.com/GamesDoneQuick. Go to GamesDoneQuick.com/Hotfix to check out our Season 4 schedule and check out the schedule for an in-depth look at this week's runs. And with that being said, again, we have more coming up. Stay tuned for Game Masters coming up after the break with a special guest host, Conception. And the next RNG will be on after AGDQ on January 14th. We're going to have a two-parter in January. It will be low-level SMRPG featuring Kuiper Don't Care and Spike Vegeta. So again, our first ever two-parter for low level coming up after AGDQ in January. You will not want to miss it. It's going to be great. Again, I'm Skybills for Random Number Generation. I'll see you in January for both AGDQ